been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Turning to health news, doctors at Johns Hopkins Medical School have discovered that bones are the coolest part of the body. The 10-year study found that although the body has many cool things in it, nothing is cooler than your skeleton.
Just think about it. You have this soft, fleshy body, but inside of it, there's a second, tinier body that's made out of a super hard rock. Our data is conclusive. Bones are very, very cool.
To conduct the study, researchers examined every single body part and determined how cool or uncool it was.
We initially thought the brain might be the coolest part because it's like a computer that runs on food. But when we looked at it up close, it was all gross and wrinkled. Brains are not cool. Bones are cool.
Doctors discovered that there are big, strong bones like baseball bats in your arms and legs, hand bones that look like a monster claw, and skull bones that make a scary face. Doctors did caution that as cool as human bones are, they're not nearly as cool as dinosaur bones.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free to join us right here on the radio at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up tonight is there going to be a robot god coming in the future? Will people worship a robot god? With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And Mike.
So we can talk about anything you want to talk about. Also, some interesting Bitcoin-related news. Mark, you have a story about the claims about how Bitcoin is damaging the environment.
That's the claim.
We've heard this being thrown about, that all of the mining power out there, the electricity that is being used, is supposedly greater than the entire nation of Iceland. All of the electricity being used to mine Bitcoin.
I've been hearing those stories, but I've also been hearing from some experts that that's a lot of hooey, very exaggerated. Right? I will do the numbers on that since I have some background in energy analysis, and I will come back next week with some numbers.
Well, yeah, I'm interested in that because my response, and I forget, somebody mentioned this, I don't know if it was on air or off air, but I thought it was a great response to that was, well, what about all of the money and electricity and all of that being spent just to keep all the banking structure open? Like, think about the thousands and thousands and thousands of bank locations, all of them with computers running at every single desk, with lights all over the place for all the human beings that have to be in those buildings.
And the other thing
and
to
then compare that to Bitcoin miners, which are just, computers in a rack and a few server rooms in a few parts.
And a lot of that energy actually goes into heating the building, so it actually reduces the regular HVAC load. So it's sort of a cogeneration program. I know a lot of people that use their miners in their homes to
heat their homes.
Yeah, they just turn them on during the winter. Another thing that's worth pointing out is that Bitcoin has pushed forward computer development. I don't have this sitting in front of me, but
the graphics cards that people buy to do mining with have been flying off the shelves because of Bitcoin mining, whereas otherwise they would have been a little bit slower doing the research and development on
It's been awesome for pushing forward computer power for VR.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And that Bitcoin never gets credit for that. And when you say the banking apparatus, there are buildings full of people.
That's what I said.
Well, but I mean, it's worth pointing out, and there are trucks that drive around with people in them, full of money, moving things back and forth. Forget Visa and MasterCard and American Express and Discover and just the sort of the paperless money and the swiping and those sorts of things, which I'm sure any one of those dwarfs Bitcoin. Just a guess. Yeah. But when you start adding in all the rest of the legacy banking systems, power generation, then you have this staggering amount. And there's nothing to say that just because Bitcoin uses this amount of power to do this many transactions, that it will use, X amount, this amount of power times X for, this amount of transactions times X. Bitcoin can scale differently. And
there's nothing saying that people wouldn't be running those same computers doing other things.
Yeah, right, exactly. If they weren't doing Bitcoin.
Right.
But regardless, I mean, you were talking about all the people, Mark, that are at these banking buildings. I mean, I've seen these banking buildings. They're humongous. I mean, they're just high-rise buildings full of offices, full of middle management and upper management.
And every one of those drones has a computer that they're in.
Exactly.
And they leave them on all night when they're home.
Yeah, well, right. So I'm sorry.
And they're not even mining Bitcoin with them.
Exactly.
Right. And it's impossible to calculate how much power the entire banking world is using. It's impossible to calculate that. Like, even if you could take a crack at how many branches J.P. Morgan and Bank of America and all those have, to calculate every single bank, all of the thousands of banks out there, however many there are, it would be almost impossible to figure out the number of banks in the world, let alone the number of branches.
I think
and the
you have a
number of
difficult time
employees.
figuring out how many banks are in your town.
That's not that hard. I mean, Keene, New Hampshire, it's pretty easy to pull up a list of them.
But everybody has a different town,
right?
And they'd have a different responsibility for counting.
In a bigger
things.
city, it would be a little harder.
And don't forget all the energy that goes into law enforcement against money crimes and things like that. You got Secret Service, you got FBI.
There's still money crimes in Bitcoin, and at this point, they're not doing much investigating of them. They're just saying, "Good luck." They might fill out a form for you, but that's really about it.
So anyway, Mark, you were going to tell us more about this green fear-mongering about Bitcoin.
Bloomberg.com. While much of the world marvels at Bitcoin's meteoric rise, do meteors rise, Mike?
No, they fall quite spectacularly.
I see. Another part is focused on the environmental byproduct, the sheer amount of electricity that cryptocurrencies use. By some estimates, not all estimates, apparently. Apparently, we have different estimates. Bitcoin's consumption alone exceeds or will exceed that of Ireland, Denmark, Japan, or even the entire world.
What?
Right. Some estimates. Somebody who's worrying about a starving polar bear in Svalbard is estimating that Bitcoin is using twice as much power that the world generates or something.
Ridiculous.
If it's that amount of power per Bitcoin, that might have some relevance. But the fact is a very small number of transactions are actually one or more Bitcoins these days. It's usually a small amount. Even if you're spending $100 or $200, that's still at today's prices, maybe a few percent of a full Bitcoin. So, you got to divide that energy up by a lot of transactions. And
instead of worrying about how soon Bitcoin will melt the polar ice caps, though, it's worth considering how much energy might be saved. Digital currency is wasteful by design. Bitcoin miners who process transactions in return for new currency must race to solve extremely difficult cryptographic puzzles. This computational burden helps keep the transaction record secure by raising the bar for anyone who would want to tamper with it. But it also requires miners to build giant farms of servers that will consume vast amounts of energy. The more valuable Bitcoin becomes, the more miners are willing to spend on equipment and electricity. Still, it's important to put things in perspective. A recent report suggests that at current price, Bitcoin miners will consume an estimated 8.27 terawatt hours per year. That might sound like a lot, but it's actually less than an eighth of what U.S. data centers use. So there you are, not an eighth of what U.S. data centers use, which seems like a lot.
It's ironic, the numbers that they come up with. I recall several years ago when the British Met Office, which deals with meteorology and climate, built this huge supercomputer, billions of dollars, just to simulate climate. And then when they were all done building it and got it running to simulate the climate so they could justify more regulations to regulate carbon emissions because of so-called climate change, they found that this supercomputer was one of the top 10 carbon footprints in all of Great Britain.
It's amusing. So apparently Bitcoin only uses 1/5 of 1% of the total U.S. consumption of energy. It also compares favorably to currencies and commodities that Bitcoin could help replace. Global production of cash and coins consumes an estimated, we didn't even talk about that, what it costs just to make paper money and metal money, an estimated 11 terawatt hours per year.
And what was the Bitcoin number?
8.27. So there you have Bitcoin is better than the production of paper and
amazing
and that sort of
so
thing.
it's more efficient. And again, you cut out the production of the old money, you cut out the banking system. I mean, if Bitcoin were to actually be successful, or cryptocurrency in general, were actually to be successful at sort of the original vision for what Bitcoin was supposed to accomplish, which was to basically destroy the old banking system. I mean, if all those old banks shut down, then it would be a net savings as far as power is concerned. And the fact is, if power were to really be at a premium, if it were to run low, then the prices would go up. And then once Bitcoin became too unprofitable to mine, people would drop out and they would stop. So, this is a naturally correcting situation if a situation needs to be corrected.
And the fact is really most of the power used in mining would go to waste anyways. That's, the miners want the cheapest electricity, and the cheapest electricity is always where it's being overproduced, and so they need somewhere to get rid of it, so they're selling it cheaply.
Let's continue here. You can share your thoughts. One author over at Yahoo Finance says most people aren't ready to handle Bitcoin. And the fear-mongering continues. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Shop online and support Free Talk Live. Every purchase you make at shop.freetalklive.com helps spread a message of liberty. From shop.freetalklive.com, you can shop at places like Walmart, Newegg, Amazon UK, Amazon Canada, Omaha Steaks, HostGator, and more. Plus, you can get discounts on web hosting, legal documents, or pretty much anything using saveatpurse.com. Just bookmark the link and help Free Talk Live while shopping online. Thank you for shopping with shop.freetalklive.com. Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free to join us on the radio. Here are numbers 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And Mike.
Of course, you can bring up anything you want. We are talking again about Bitcoin, the world's most popular and successful cryptocurrency, the first one ever. If you want to go learn more about Bitcoin, just head over to bitcoin.com. They've got a wallet there that actually will give you access to Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. It is a double Bitcoin wallet, if you will. Go to bitcoin.com to learn more about the basics and get your wallet set up. You can also add into the mining pool over there if you want to add into the amount of power being consumed by the Bitcoin mining operations of the world. You can go to pool.bitcoin.com. You can turn some of that power into hopefully some profit for you if
burn, baby, burn,
if everything works out. So again, go to bitcoin.com. Mark, you were sharing with us, was it Bloomberg was the source on this?
That's right.
They are comparing the power consumption, or the estimated power consumption, of all of the Bitcoin miners in the world to other things, because the big claim is that the Bitcoin mining consumption is as large as the power consumption of several nations, or
right. The news has not bothered to tell us this information until Bitcoin went parabolic, right?
Well,
but
I think
now,
there have been people making these claims for a while.
People have been making the claims, but it hasn't really touched off in the news.
Correct. Yeah.
So anyway, Bitcoin is consuming about an estimated 8.27 terawatt hour per year, and gold mining burns the equivalent of 132 terawatt hours. So
wow,
132 versus 8.
Yeah,
and that doesn't
amazing.
Include armored trucks, bank vaults,
right,
security systems, and in the right context, Bitcoin is positively green.
Yep.
Great point.
What's more, Bitcoin's consumption won't necessarily keep rising as it has. Data centers, for example, have gotten a lot better. Not long ago, the Department of Energy was predicting that their electricity use would double every 5 years. And
they were wrong, though. Huh?
Google is getting slammed for consuming enough power for, I'm not sure what this number is, but let's go with the low one, 200,000 homes. In recent years, though, take a look at the number, Ian, just real quick. That's not where the comma goes.
Oh, yeah, there's that could be 2 million homes.
It could be.
There's enough zeros in there for it to be 2 million.
Yes, but there aren't enough commas and they aren't in the right place. So I'm going to go with 200,000. In recent years, though, the center's total electricity use has flattened, even as their number has kept growing.
So what you're saying is the amount of data centers they have is growing.
I see. Yes,
but the amount that's being used is
because chips are getting more efficient.
Yeah, right.
As it turned out, better cooling, power management technology, improved efficiency.
Right.
Bitcoin miners are no less motivated by profits, so it stands to reason that they will seek to become more efficient.
When they reduce the nanometers that the chips are manufactured at, they increase the efficiency and
go to lower resistance materials.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Bitcoin mining other than, like I do it through bitcoin.com, and you can too at pool.bitcoin.com.
Mm-hmm.
But why couldn't they just make a situation where it's a lottery for anybody who's able to hash the blockchain in the given 10 minutes or whatever? Look, again, I don't know the specifics, but at this point, I think it's still a lottery. I mean, it's still a chance that your computer doesn't do it, right? I mean, why not just make it a lottery for the one who answers the question?
It's more of a race than a lottery. But proof of stake is sort of a lottery in the way that works, because there's only so many coins to give out with every block with proofs of stake, and so they do, hand those out randomly too, based upon stake.
But people are concerned about whether or not the blockchain is being replicated and, is being stored on nodes all around the world. And Bitcoin is certainly on a bunch of nodes. A lot of those nodes are in expensive data centers, on miners, but whatever.
Just to make sure we're not getting too lost in the weeds, proof of stake is a different kind of reward system,
right.
Mining system, if you will, for different cryptocurrencies that are competing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a proof of work system, which means that the people that are out there cranking away at their computers, these
right.
graphics cards and ASICs and these specialized mining hardwares, they're doing actual computer work. They're crunching numbers in order to try to find one of these blocks, which will then reward them with, right now, 12.5 Bitcoin for every block that
right.
they're successfully able to find, whereas the proof of stake system has more to do with people holding the currency that is a proof of stake currency and rewarding those who hold the most of it, basically.
Yeah, so every coin in proof of stake that you hold is like owning a lottery ticket. So you can compare proof of work is like running a race, and proof of stake is like having lottery tickets in a lottery.
Yeah, so they're two different types of setups, if you will,
or
for these
participation trophies, as I like to say.
Going on, it's easy to criticize Bitcoin for being wasteful, but so are many other things in life, including airplanes, commuting to work, and Sunday night football. A return to subsistence farming could drastically reduce our carbon footprint, but sometimes using energy to improve our quality of life is worthwhile.
Right.
The Bitcoin network has the potential to generate a lot of benefits. How much
already has?
Yeah, how much?
$500 billion. It crossed $500 billion. Not just Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's almost to $300 billion on its own. But all cryptocurrencies combined, over $500 billion market cap. It just crossed $400 billion 6 days ago.
Yeah.
Prior to that, 10 days prior, it was $300 billion. And then 3 weeks prior to that, it was $200 billion. And then 5 months prior. So it's the amount of time that it takes to get from $100 billion to the next $100 billion continues to lower. It's gone from 3 weeks to 10 days to 6 days.
Doesn't that just stream bubble to you?
No,
I don't know.
No, because the potential is still far too much larger than the current market.
The potential is very large, right? Like it's either an adoption curve or it's a bubble.
Yeah.
And
adoption curves always look like bubbles at the start.
But like, what else would it look like, right? There's an incredible rise in these currencies, but man, when I see stories of people mortgaging their homes to buy Bitcoin, I think
ballsy.
Bubble.
And here's something to consider. A lot of so-called bubbles in history were adoption curves that were aborted by the intervention of regulation that killed those markets.
Yeah, I bet you that's true.
Okay. For the .com collapse, for instance, where you had the Fed chairman calling it irrational exuberance. The thing is that everyone in the world was expecting the last mile to get fiber optic to everyone's homes. And the Telecom Reform Act was supposed to do that, was supposed to clear the way in telecom regulations. But Comcast and the other cable companies came in and lobbied the Senate to amend that bill to mandate that the telecoms, not the cable companies, if they sent fiber to a person's home, they had to provide access to that customer to their competitors for less than the cost of the fiber. And so the telecom says, no, we're not going to do it. And that ended the last mile fiber. And there were all these .coms that were building all of these great applications that were depending upon fiber to go to people's homes. And you had companies like World Crossing and Enron that built all this backbone expecting the last mile to be solved. So all of these economic collapses were triggered by legislation that sabotaged these things.
More coming up here. You can share your thoughts with us. Of course, since we're talking about internet, that just reminded me, I've been seeing all this net neutrality stuff today because the FCC's got their big vote tomorrow, and some people are saying the internet as you know it will no longer be the same. Is there truth to that?
If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the U.S. or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Makes the perfect stocking stuffer. Get your Bug Assault today.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free here to join us on the radio. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. Coming up in about 2 months from now, and Acapulco is back in Acapulco, Mexico for year number 4 of what is probably the best libertarian, anarchist, voluntarist convention that you're going to find. Great speakers, of course, like G. Edward Griffin, Jeffrey Tucker, Roger Ver, Larkin Rose, Jeff Berwick, Bruce Fenton, Brett Venat, Julia Taransky, Dana Martin, Juan Galtz, Adam Kokesh, I heard he's running for president, Carrie Wedler, Vit Yedleka, Sterling Lujan. You can see them and more. Also, some live music acts, including Jordan Page, Backwards, Rob Hustle, and others. It's happening at the Princess Resort in Acapulco, Mexico. Mark, you and I, we get the pleasure of attending again this year.
It's going to be awesome.
And broadcasting from the event. Plus, you can not only attend an Acapulco event, but there's also sort of sub-events or related events that are taking place around that time frame, including a health and wellness retreat, the Change Media University with Luke Radowski, an Amazonian ceremony called The Snake and the Jaguar, and then so those are extra if you want to go to attend those. But the Cryptopulco event is included in the full ticket, the regular ticket for Anarchapulco, and that's the final day of Anarchapulco. It's all cryptocurrency related speeches.
We'll be there.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing you there as well. Go to anarchapulco.com and use code FTL, like Free Talk Live, to get 10% off of your tickets. It's already, early bird ticket phase is over, so this gets you 10% off the regular ticket price over at anarchapulco.com the 15th through the 18th of February. We'll look forward to seeing you there. As we continue here, we were talking about the fears that some of the mainstream media is putting out there surrounding Bitcoin and the mining operations supposedly consuming some drastic amount of energy. But, Mark, as you compared it from the Bloomberg article, they looked at the amount of energy it takes to mine gold, and that was, 175 tera, whatever the heck it was?
Yeah, I think it was 130 something versus 8.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
a lot of the energy that miners use is actually renewable energy. For instance,
like water and wind.
Yeah, hydropower, wind power. I know
makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of the miners in Russia are using both hydropower and nuclear power, and I know that some people don't consider nuclear renewable, but I do. And and I know over in Russia they're paying 2 cents per kilowatt hour.
Really?
Yeah. So it's pretty impressive.
If it wasn't for all those solar panels blocking the ground, there'd be trees growing there, Mike.
Yeah, it's...
So Ethan Wolfman, that's apparently actually his last... He's got the hyphenated last name, Wolfman, -man.
Cool name.
He has this to say over at Yahoo Finance. Headline, most people aren't ready to handle Bitcoin. He says the Bitcoin boom that has awakened the mainstream masses to cryptocurrency speculation or investing, depending on your perspective, it has awakened the masses. He says thanks to public exchanges like Coinbase, the hacker nature of Bitcoin is polished into something more akin to a smooth, consumer-facing tech company. In fact, that's how Coinbase initially billed itself, as the Gmail for digital currency. But while Bitcoin may be ready for mainstream adoption with these exchanges, are mainstream consumers really ready? If people's digital security habits are anything to go by, the answer is probably no. It takes a fair amount of sophistication to deal with Bitcoin security-wise, polished as it might be thanks to smooth user interface, useful banking partnerships, and FDIC and private insurance. There's only so much that even a unicorn like Coinbase, or a major bank or tech giant, can do to tame Bitcoin, though an exchange can insure or transfer risk. By design, it's a wild thing, capable of operating without third parties, central banks, or governments. It has no master or authority.
Some of these journalistic elites, I'm convinced that they don't think that most Americans know 12 words.
They can't even read that many words? You're referring to the backup phrases for Bitcoin wallets. They frequently are 12 words.
Sometimes they're 24, right? For like the super wallet.
Sometimes.
My Nano S here is a 24 word.
But he's right here.
So I have to torture you before I kill you and I take your Bitcoin wallet? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. He's correct, though, when he says that Bitcoin is capable of operating without third-party central banks or governments. You don't need Coinbase to have Bitcoin. Coinbase is an intermediary. They hold the keys to your wallet, which is actually not a good thing. You really don't want that. Ideally, you would want to hold your own keys to the wallet. But when you do that, that transfers a level of responsibility that the average person isn't used to having. So, I may agree, actually, with what this guy is saying. We're still on the early days of Bitcoin, and it can be a confusing thing for somebody who is, let's say, having trouble programming their VCR kind of level technology, wise. It's going to be confusing for somebody to get into Bitcoin and have any kind of understanding of what it is that's going on. But going on here, he says it has no master or authority, which is one of the reasons why we love it, right? Like
Absolutely.
We love cryptocurrency because nobody is really in charge. Yes, there are some programmers who arguably have driven the Bitcoin Core protocol into the dirt and have made it an incredibly, while pricey, that's the market making it pricey, they've kind of left it as this broken experiment that now costs, what, on the median, like $15 to send a Bitcoin transaction? Like your typical Bitcoin transaction is going to be probably at least about $15 just to send it. It used to be 1.5 cents, so it's gone up tremendously in its price and the fees, and so it's
Coinbase now has a way, if you're sending coins to another Coinbase user, you can do it without any transaction fees.
Right. That's because they're doing their own system that's off of the chain from Bitcoin. So again, that's the benefit of letting somebody else hold on to your private keys, is you can have some perks by, like you were saying, if you're sending to another person on Coinbase, then there's no fee involved. But as soon as you want to withdraw it from Coinbase, you better believe you're going to get hit with a fee then. So it's not like you can avoid the fees entirely by using Coinbase. But my point was saying that these programmers may have broken Bitcoin, but they can't break the other 1,000 cryptocurrencies that are out there on the marketplace that are trying to compete with Bitcoin. Those are other people, and they're doing their thing, and their thing is slightly different from Bitcoin.
Well, hopefully Bitcoin gets its stuff together with segregated witness and Lightning Network and all this other stuff. We'll see. Obviously,
how long is that going to take?
I don't know. I really would like to hear more about it.
Because it's basically been broken for like a year.
SegWit is implemented. They have,
and there's only about 12% of the transactions.
Actually, there's an increasing number. There's somewhere.
Okay, I looked within the last week.
Really, I was looking, I think 2 weeks ago, and it was ranging between 1/3 to a half of the.
I don't even know if I've got a SegWit wallet. How do you do that?
Most people don't.
That's a very good question. It's as my understanding that you don't need to have a SegWit wallet for the system to use SegWit.
I'd really like that.
So the toll-free number, if you want to reach us here, 855-450, free like freedom. According to segwit.party/charts, it appears as though it's actually dropped down to about 10% from 12% over the last, let's see. Yeah, it's at around maybe 10% right now, according to this. This is the percentage of transactions that are SegWit transactions. And the peak, according to this, was at about 18%. So, not exactly.
Hopefully, we'll see more adoption.
Not
soon.
exactly setting the world on fire. And I can tell you this: the SegWit price difference. The last time I checked, because the Trezor hardware wallet does have a SegWit address, you can see what the difference is. It was only a 25% reduction in fees. I mean, I'll take it, but it's not anything to really get excited about. You're still going to be paying several dollars.
The SegWit people always did say that it was Lightning Network that was really going to reduce
the other big fix that's on the horizon somewhere.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, they say they've tested this so-called Lightning Network and that it works. So what does that mean for how quickly it'll be rolled out? I don't know. But regardless, there are other competitors out there that are ready to eat Bitcoin's lunch, and so it doesn't. So that's the point here.
By the way, I saw a speech by one of the core developers where essentially he said, yeah, go ahead and use one of those other currencies or a credit card or PayPal.
Embarrassing.
And I was like, wow, if your business plan is, hey, everybody use our competition until we get our S together, I mean, this is the time for Bitcoin to shine.
That's not a good...
It's bad.
It's not shiny at all at the moment. It's just the price makes it look that way to somebody who's new and doesn't know what's
That's
wrong.
Bitcoin Core versus Bitcoin Cash.
That's right. The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450 free. Bitcoin Core is the number one one. It's the big one. It's the one that's like $16,000 tonight for one of them. More coming up. Free Talk Live.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown. But these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown, not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can join us right here, toll free at 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Got Skype. The Skype username, if you want to join us there, is lrn.fm. We're talking about the adoption of Bitcoin because people are hearing about it. They are definitely talking about it. I was in a meeting with a bank manager and one of their compliance officers the other day talking to them about Bitcoin. It was of a credit union here. And they were pretty new to the concept before I started talking to them. And then all of a sudden, the bank manager commented to me that she noticed that it was on a show called, oh, God, I'm spacing on it. There was on some television show. Big Bang Theory, yes. The whole episode was about it very recently.
Yep.
And she said she'd heard a couple of her friends at like a dinner party or whatever. They were talking about Bitcoin. So like all of a sudden, Bitcoin, it's over here, it's over there, it's on the news, it's being talked about by your friends, it's on television. People are talking about it. They are interested in it. Obviously, I mean, people are going to be interested in something that has over 1,000%, close to 2,000% of an increase in a 12-month time frame. That's going to get almost anyone's attention. But are they really ready for it? Are they ready to actually have and hold and, go through that process of getting Bitcoin? The argument over at yahoo.com is from Ethan Wolf-Man. He says he doesn't think so. He says, one of the most critical things about this feature in practice is that a fraudulent transaction cannot be reversed. He's talking about how there is no master or authority over Bitcoin. And he's right. When you hit the send button and you confirm that you want to send that Bitcoin or whatever most other cryptocurrencies, there are some that have a reversal option. But with Bitcoin, if you send it, it's gone forever.
You can reassign it to another wallet. Isn't there a transaction capability to do
You're
that
talking
now?
about if it is not confirmed, don't they have something called replace by fee?
Yeah.
So that's a controversial thing within Bitcoin, is that there, I don't know, was it within the last year or something that they implemented this? So it used to be completely irreversible. As soon as you hit send, it could not be taken back. But now there's some way that you can go in there and somehow hack into the settings and make it so this thing goes somewhere else before it gets the confirmation, and it's called replace by fee, and it's been very controversial. It's one of the reasons why the folks over at Bitcoin Cash say that their version of Bitcoin is more true to Satoshi's original vision, because the original vision never had this you can just reassign Bitcoin feature that they've now implemented.
Yeah, and it's good for correcting mistaken transactions.
But it could also be used for fraud.
Oh, yes, definitely it could be. And that's why I recommend that when people are using Bitcoin in any sort of transactions with other people, is use some sort of an escrow service that are out there. There's quite a number of them, so I'm not going to recommend one. But
how do you know which ones are trustworthy, though?
Ask around.
Yeah, that was a situation that I was actually looking at recently with the possible purchase of another Bitcoin vending machine. I found one that was used, and the guy who was willing to sell it, well, he was willing to do an escrow, but he didn't trust any of the escrow services, so it ended up not happening. And I didn't know who any of the escrow services were. They were just people on the Bitcoin Talk forum, but they've been around for a while, so supposedly they're trustworthy.
You could always use an Ethereum smart contract as an escrow.
Presuming you can read the smart contract and you actually know what that... Anyway, let's get back into the story here. So generally, though, transactions can't be reversed with cryptocurrency. And with a bank, he says, if someone manages to get into your account and steal your money, you have recourse. But with Bitcoin, you could be completely screwed. So he says this has reared its ugly head before. As Jen Weitzner's excellent fortune story noted in August, very savvy people have had their Bitcoins poached from accounts that they had assumed were secure, even when they had two-factor authentication. In one horrifying case, an artificial intelligence startup CEO got a call from T-Mobile to confirm his phone number was being swapped to a new device. Before he could do anything, he watched his accounts drain from Coinbase. There are many horror stories like this one. And if it can happen to an AI CEO whose account had two-factor, what does that mean for your dentist who informed you that he's getting a little into this Bitcoin crypto thing? Well, that's an important question. This is a legitimate scam technique. I mean, legitimate's the wrong word to use. This is a known scam technique of somebody who really wants to get into your account can just try to steal your phone number. They get a phone number, call your cell phone provider, pretend to be you, and a lot of these cell phone providers don't have very good security systems set up.
Phones, I really have always wondered why they use two-factor authentication on phones, because they're so easy to clone. It's just it's embarrassing.
That's a huge problem, and that's why you're seeing two-factors move to Google Authenticator.
But
instead,
that's also problematic. I had the biggest trouble using Google Authy at all, and that's one of the reasons why Coinbase abandoned.
Did they?
Yeah, they abandoned using Authy because it was such a problem for so many users.
Okay, I've never had a problem with it. For listeners that aren't familiar with this, what you do is you get this program, and there are a couple different ones. There's Google Authenticator. There's the Authy one that you're talking about, which is a competitor to Google, and then there might be other ones besides that. But what happens is when you go to set up this two-factor authentication, which is good account security, like if you've got some Bitcoin in an exchange account or in a Coinbase or whatever, having two-factor on, whether it's just your phone getting a text message or it's Google Authenticator or one of these other ones, is still better than nothing. It's still better than just a username and password. But the Google Authenticator, you get a special code when you go to set that up. You scan that with your phone's app, the Google Authenticator app, and then it comes into the app, and then it gives you a 6-digit number that changes every 30 seconds. And that number is basically the same number that the server has that they're tracking for you. And so as long as you're the only person who saw that code that they gave you, you're the only person with that Google Authenticator code in their app, you're the only one who has the 6-digit number at any given moment that will get you into the account.
I'm sure it's great and everything, but I've used Google Authenticator now probably going on 2 or 3 years, and I can honestly say I'd rather go through another prison body cavity search than have to use that thing. It just sucks. The experience of, oh, well, where's my phone? Now I got to get up and go hunt for my phone.
Two things.
And then, well, security is never convenient.
And then I wait for the 30 seconds so it goes in, and I type it in. And remember, I got to have my reading glasses on to make sure that I get everything right.
Yeah. And if you're using your phone, I haven't got the tiniest fingers, so my fat fingers are always screwing those up.
Yeah. Well, I understand, and this is what he's talking about, right? Like, you guys are into Bitcoin, and you're complaining about this, right? So this is too much for you. Imagine what this is like for Grandma.
I want biometrics.
It makes me want to find out what's going to happen when Dash releases Evolution,
which is supposed to be an easy-to-use kind of layer that they're building to put over the Dash system, Dash being one of the big competitors to Bitcoin. That's often, that may be as far away as this Lightning Network is, Mark. We don't know when that's going to happen, but I am also interested in seeing
it was supposed
what
to
they
be,
end up doing.
It's been backed up a little bit.
I heard it was sometime in 2018, so...
Early 2018.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
You could do easy to use
when it's here.
There's a very easy way to do two-factor authentication that any idiot can do.
Okay.
And what you do is you send out a couple words to the person, and they just say those words into their phone or computer microphone, and you can get verified through both the words and voice verification. And that's stupidly easy for people to use.
That's an idea. And you're going to see more advancements in this area, right? Like the Google Authenticator is just what they came up with first as far as a better option than just a text message, which could be intercepted, or as you say, they clone the phone and then they get the message and then they get in. So, Google Authenticator is better than that. So if you have the option for it, you should do it to secure your account. But again, that's the question here. Is this too much already for the average person to too many hoops for them to jump through to get into Bitcoin? But let's go on. He points out that, if it can happen to a CEO of an AI company, it can certainly happen to your dentist or mother or whatever. Bitcoin, he says, was nurtured by tech enthusiasts who believed in the project and understood its stakes, its inner workings, and security risks. This is changing. Emails, questions, and survey answers that Yahoo Finance are receiving, as well as Coinbase sign-up increases, show that civilians are now coming in droves. So much so that Coinbase's CEO Brian Anderson recently put up a blog post imploring users to, quote, please invest responsibly, unquote. Because as you might imagine, when somebody's seeing this incredible price increase, they have that fear of missing out, and they go mortgage their house and put it all into Bitcoin. That could be the mistake of a lifetime, or it could work out really well. But you generally shouldn't
Everybody
invest
at this point
what you can't afford to lose.
Who has mortgaged anything, prior to a month ago to buy Bitcoin is happy about it, if that makes sense.
No doubt. Unless they mortgaged the thing and then got cold feet after Bitcoin took a little dip and then sold after that, then they're not happy because they didn't hold on.
Not everybody is happy.
There's more coming up here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. What has your experience been? Maybe you've been introducing family members and friends to Bitcoin. What have been the stumbling blocks, the objections, the difficulties that you've run up against? The toll-free number here, and how'd you overcome it if you did? 855-450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Guys, wouldn't your wife or girlfriend love it if you treated her to the very best this Christmas? Well, you can, and you don't even have to go out of your way. We're talking about the world's softest pajamas, available exclusively at pajamagram.com. That's pajamagram.com. Created by a team of dedicated pajama experts, the world's softest pajamas are lighter than a cloud, softer than a bunny, like cashmere, only better. She'll love the way the world's softest pajamas feel, and you'll love the way they look. More than a gift, they're a feeling, an invitation to relax a little longer. The world's softest pajamas are available only at pajamagram.com. Visit today and give her a gift that keeps on giving to both of you. Plus, you don't even have to wrap because every pajamagram includes free gift packaging and Christmas delivery is guaranteed. So visit pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, December 13th, 2017. Silver is trading at $15.71 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,241 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 8.5 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $17,222. Antiwar.com reports while early in the Saudi invasion of Yemen, the U.S. was more on the supply side of famine, participating in the naval blockade. USAID Chief Mark Green has announced another round of $130 million in U.S.-provided food aid is being set aside for Yemen, citing the mounting humanitarian catastrophe. Whether the food will ever get there, however, is another matter. Green confirmed there's been no sign of any easing of the Saudi-led blockade of Yemen, despite repeated U.S. demands over the past week for the Saudis to allow the aid in. Indeed, not only have the Saudis not accepted the repeated U.S. calls for aid to be allowed in, there's no sign that the Saudis have acknowledged the calls at all, seemingly ignoring the situation entirely as the civilian toll mounts. The blockade has been a serious problem for northern Yemen, where a single port is expected to provide food, medicine, and fuel for some 15 million civilians, but which the Saudis have repeatedly blocked UN and other aid ships from entering. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organization to show up in an emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT NoGov license. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com. UPI reports the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld a ban on new uranium mining in the Grand Canyon on Tuesday, while also upholding a mining company's right to mine in the area since before the ban. The case regarding new claims came from one Arizona man's response to a 20-year ban on new claims imposed in 2012 under then Interior Secretary Ken Salazar. Gregory Yount challenged the ban despite not having ever mined uranium before and with no real plans to do so. Yount gave several reasons for challenging the ban, including a First Amendment argument in which he said protections in the area are due to Native American beliefs was based on archaic religious dogma. But the Ninth Circuit dismissed those arguments and ruled that the Interior Secretary has a right to enforce mining bans on public lands. However, the ban could be lifted by current Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke. In the other opinion released Tuesday, the Ninth Circuit rejected the Havasupai tribe's efforts to evict companies that had mining rights before the 2012 new claims ban. The tribe, who have lived at the bottom of the Grand Canyon for more than 800 years, argued that the U.S. Forest Service violated the National Historic Preservation Act when it failed to consult with the tribe before granting uranium mining rights to mining companies. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports an out-of-control California wildfire that has already destroyed nearly 700 homes in its path of destruction crept closer to the upscale hillside community of Montecito on Tuesday, despite calmer winds that slowed its progress. The Thomas Fire, which broke out on December 4th, has since traveled 27 miles to become the fifth largest blaze in state history. It has blackened more than 368 square miles in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties, an area larger than that of New York City. Officials said that while the flames charred another 2,500 acres overnight, a break in the hot, dry Santa Ana winds on Tuesday sapped its forward momentum and allowed crews to prevent further damage to some homes. Captain Steve Concialdi of CAL FIRE said it's doing what we want it to do. The fire is staying away from the homes. The flames are 25% contained as of Tuesday evening. He said that some of the 7,000 firefighters deployed against the blaze have taken advantage of the better weather to set control burns in a canyon near the community of Carpinteria and near homes in an effort to further deprive the flames of fuel. The National Weather Service has warned that the Santa Ana winds could return as early as Wednesday, meaning the fire remains dangerous and unpredictable. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Big tech news this week as Microsoft has unveiled its new generation Xbox One. Designers say the console's revolutionary new voice command feature makes it easier than ever for the Xbox to control its users. According to Microsoft spokesman Don Matrick, quote, "The Xbox One is programmed with a host of simple voice commands that you will respond to instantly. In addition to phrases like jump, shoot, and insert game disc, users will also understand more complicated instructions like download Call of Duty Update or come into the room and turn on Xbox."
The Xbox One tells us what games to play, what music to listen to, what shows to watch.
Watch TV.
And with that simple command, I'm watching live TV.
The new Xbox's high-tech sensors can also detect your expression and tell when you're looking away from the television.
Andy, look back at the TV.
Microsoft says the new Xbox can also command you using your smartphone or tablet. TechBuzz is raving. Quote, "It's the immersive obedience experience we've been waiting for."
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. As always, we invite you to join us on the radio here. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. Are people actually ready to own some Bitcoin? The author over at Yahoo Finance is saying no, they're not. They're not even close. We'll get into that coming up here. And with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And Mike.
To the phones, to the fun. Jim Jesus is on the line in Vegas, watching us on our cam at cam.freetalklive.com on the YouTube stream. Hey, Jim.
Jim,
hey,
what's up?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
Hey, Mike. So, yeah, I'm like upset with all of the transaction fees and everything that's been going on with Bitcoin. It seems like the core developers doesn't care.
No, they
I've
want
been trying to
high
sell
fees.
stuff on. Yeah. And I've been trying to sell stuff on OpenBazaar, which is like a decentralized eBay where everybody uses Bitcoin.
Yep.
And it's almost impossible to sell anything on there, especially unless I'm selling something like extremely expensive, which I don't.
Because no one wants to actually spend Bitcoin to buy the thing because the fees are too high. Is that why?
Yeah, the fees would be way too high. Now, I know that they have like their own wallet system with SegWit that kind of reduces fees, but it's still, they're going to pay probably as much for the item as they are for the transaction fees, and it's getting like infuriating.
And is OpenBazaar, are they going to support any of the competing cryptocurrencies?
I hope they do, because I'm a real big fan of Monero, and I really like the idea of Monero, especially since it's
Yeah, that would seem like it would be a
anonymous
good
all the transactions.
combo. Monero being one of the more privacy-oriented coins out there, it would seem like that would combo well with something like OpenBazaar, which is a decentralized marketplace, which in theory... Now and I remember when they first started the OpenBazaar beta, they said that there was no obscuring IP addresses, so you would have to probably connect via Tor or maybe a VPN and Tor in order to perhaps protect your, like if you were to want to sell marijuana or something like that on OpenBazaar or buy it, because I think that that wasn't their intention behind creating OpenBazaar, but if it were to actually go forward
or just
and be
where
popular,
it's legal.
Well, right, yeah, technically, yeah, you could put a disclaimer on it. You can only buy this if you're in the states where it's legal. But anyway, Jim Jesus, what else do you have to share tonight?
Yeah, it'd be neat if they did implement Monero. Especially with all these, like what was it, Silk Road stuff and all those clones getting shut down.
Yeah.
But I don't know, they're not willing to do it, and it seems like it'll be a lot better because the transaction fees are still really low for it. It can actually be used as a currency and not just like a reserve currency, I guess.
I would be surprised if OpenBazaar didn't have something they were working on in addition to Bitcoin Core. Because I know.
They are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently they're talking about launching their own coin, which is, it sounds like it's going to be a lot like Ethereum, so there's going to be like smart contracts.
Okay.
I guess that would kind of get rid of the need for having, I guess they have like somewhat of like an escrow type thing just to make, I forget what they're called, moderators or something, where you can sign up and allow people to be like the mediator between the transactions. So if someone doesn't get what they bought, they won't get the money. So
yeah, there is some kind of an arbitrator service set up in there. I've never had the experience of actually buying anything on OpenBazaar, so I've never had the need to have their arbitration service. I don't know how well that works, but yeah, I have heard about that as well. I know that Chris, I think his name is pronounced Pacia. I'm not sure. Pacia. He was actually one of the speakers at Keenvention a couple years ago, and he works with OpenBazaar. At least he did. I think he still does. And I see him posting on Facebook all the time about Bitcoin Cash. Like, he's a big fan of Bitcoin Cash, and he is super pissed about Bitcoin Core's slowness and fees. So, I mean, I can't imagine he's not advocating that OpenBazaar add in something like Bitcoin Cash or Dash or some other option to give people a choice. I mean, people need a choice now more so than ever in the world of cryptocurrency because Bitcoin Core is just so broken. Jim, anything else you want to share tonight?
No, that's it.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I just checked the charts for the Bitcoin median transaction fee. The median meaning that half the transactions are more expensive than this and half are less. It's about $15 right now. So $15 is going to be your kind of typical price that somebody's going to pay to send a Bitcoin transaction.
I have one of them still hanging out from somebody donating to hope.freetalklive.com, just hanging out
They
there.
sent it with a low fee.
Yeah, they did.
Right? So, yeah, if you send it with a third or less of that fee, good luck. It's going to probably not confirm in more than at least a week. I've had 4 transactions waiting more than a week now for confirmation. And I actually went to a confirmation transaction or a transaction accelerator, and I put in the transaction information in there, and I actually had to pay $4 in Bitcoin Cash to these people to hopefully get them to include the transaction in an upcoming block within the next 3 days, within 72 hours.
I'd like to see Tatiana Moroz compose a song about being stuck in the mempool.
Yeah. So the toll-free number here tonight, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Let's get back into this story here from Yahoo Finance, where they're saying that the author here, at least, Ethan Wolf-Man, he says that he doesn't think people are ready for Bitcoin. He says most people don't exhibit great digital security practices. According to a recent survey from EPC Group, a consulting firm, 11% of those respondents have been using the same password for 7 or more years. Almost 2/3 of Americans include personal details in their passwords, like their birthday or their wife's name or something like that. When asked how often they change their password, the answer, Only when the site requires me to do so, won by an enormous margin. Some people do use two-factor authentication, but most people don't. According to data from Duo, an authentication provider, only 28% of people use it, and the majority of those started because they were required to. A joint study between Johns Hopkins University and University of Maryland found that 45% of people used it sometimes. Banks and financial services providers provide two-factor across the board, but not everyone uses it since it's not always required. The ones they do use may not be very secure. Phone porting schemes can hijack someone's phone and compromise the system. People's phone numbers are generally publicly accessible. Coinbase has problems with this, or has had problems with this in the past, which is likely why its CEO recently asked users to, quote, please migrate from SMS two-factor to Google Authenticator to enhance the security of your account. And that is good advice. If you have any amount of cryptocurrency that you care about losing, you really need to have
If you only have one Coinbase account, that's great. But if you have more than one Coinbase account, Google Authenticator won't let you authenticate more than one.
They should. I can tell you that I have got like a dozen things in my Google Authenticator.
Really? I'd like to know how you do that, because I ran into this and I just got so sick of it that I uninstalled the whole thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem if you got more than one account. The huge inflows into Bitcoin make it an attractive target. Stefan Simon, a security researcher at cybercrime company Binary Defense Systems, told Yahoo Finance, even professional Bitcoin companies that are familiar with the risks are finding themselves hacked. Bitcoin mining company NiceHash just lost around $64 million worth of Bitcoin. They lost everything because they had it all in one wallet, said Simon. There's also the flip side of this game, the dangers of too much security. There have been more than a few instances of people losing one piece of paper with the key to their Bitcoin accounts, leaving them completely out of luck.
Yeah.
Or what happens if you don't...
Or throwing away a hard drive into the dump.
Yep. So does that mean consumers should stay away from Bitcoin? If they're the kind of person who doesn't have a passcode on their phone, then it really may not be right for you. Or if you're the kind of person, this is a strangely written article, but if you're going to choose to put a few Bitcoins in your pocket, take the opportunity to revamp your digital security habits. The stakes are high, so act accordingly.
Get a hardware wallet.
So you're recommending this for newbies?
It's, there's a little learning curve, but once you get it, it's actually not that hard to use.
I happen to agree. It took me a while to finally get around to this, and I did this year, and I'm glad that I did. I think it was a good choice, and they're not that expensive.
Yeah, my wife likes
less than $100. Yeah. The toll-free number here, 855-450 free like freedom. You can join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live.
Happy the rescue dog. He was missing hair, stinky, scabby, but I have a vet that I trust, and she recommended Dinovite.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of Super Mega Fish Oil free.
Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try. Dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Shop online and support Free Talk Live. Every purchase you make at shop.freetalklive.com helps spread a message of liberty. From shop.freetalklive.com, you can shop at places like Walmart, Newegg, Amazon UK, Amazon Canada, Omaha Steaks, HostGator, and more. Plus, you can get discounts on web hosting, legal documents, or pretty much anything using saveatpurse.com. Just bookmark the link and help Free Talk Live while shopping online. Thank you for shopping with shop.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You're invited right here to join us toll free at 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. The Skype username tonight is LRN.FM. So feel free to reach out to us there if you want. We're talking about the difficulty of getting people into cryptocurrency. There is a learning curve. It's lower now than it's ever been. It is not as steep of a learning curve. It's easier now than it was 5 years ago or 9 years ago or whatever.
Remember the command line wallets?
I know about them. I have used them, but the average user certainly could not.
Yeah.
So, but now they have graphical user interface wallets. They have web wallets like Coinbase, and they've put a very nice face on Bitcoin. But the article that we just finished up from Yahoo Finance is saying that people just aren't even ready. Even when it comes to the easy-to-use websites, there's still a level of security that ought to be used that brings a level of confusion in. And even you guys were saying, as experienced Bitcoiners that I'm sitting with here in this room, you guys were complaining about Google Authenticator as the sort of primary two-factor authentication method to secure accounts out there. So if you guys are having a tough time with it, then the average person is going to be flummoxed and bewildered and confused and frustrated by that.
I think that those 2FA methods are complete crap, and I personally don't have any trouble making a nice, long, cryptographically secure password. I know how to do it, and it's not that hard if people want to learn. But you can pick any random book out of your library, assuming you have books in your home.
Well, even if you have a complicated password, a lot of passwords, they're not cracked by brute force attacks. They're garnered through social engineering, like a phishing email where somebody sees an email coming in. That's,
and you've got to be intelligent and look at the what something links to in your email, whether it's authentic or not. And it's not that hard to look at the URL for link and say, this is a phishing attempt. I mean, don't be stupid.
I agree with you, Mike, but I'm experienced at using the internet, and even I have clicked on a link or two over the years from a phishing email. Now, I've realized it as soon as I clicked on it, but because I looked at the URL after that, but that could have infected the computer with malware or whatever.
It depends on how convincing it is. I mean, there's been times when you get the one that's spoofing your friend's email or whatever and says, "Hey, check this out," or they've gotten me with that.
Yeah, so again, I happen to agree with this guy's assessment, but I also agree with you, Mike, that I think that you're going to see advancements in two-factor. You had a neat idea about using the voice recognition software and something else to combine to secure accounts.
Give some unique words to the user, and then they say those words into their phone, and they can go by the voice print as well as the words, and you've got a three-factor authentication that's more secure.
And we may end up seeing, I hope that we end up seeing these security features get better, but also easier to use over time. I think that is going to be the case, but it's going to take some development, and hopefully we'll get there. Anyway, speaking of security, home security is also an important thing, and when it comes to keeping your home secure, you can go ahead and spend a whole lot of money on that if you'd like. Or you can go to blinkprotect.com/FTL and get the Blink Home Security System. You get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys will charge you for 1 security camera, let alone the DVR system and the install costs and everything. The Blink Home Security, it's a wireless camera system, so you don't actually have to run any cables, drill any holes. You just pop the batteries in the wireless cameras, you set them up. You plug the hub into the wall. It's the only one wire in the system, the power cable. And then you set it all up over your Wi-Fi enabled device like your tablet or your smartphone. It's super easy. Mark, it took you, about 10 minutes to do this?
Yeah.
So go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. If you want more than 3 cams, no problem. They've got that too. blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. Our toll-free number tonight is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I've run into this stuff. I do kind of an advocacy for Bitcoin here in the Keene, New Hampshire area, and we have regular meetups, which we advertise on meetup.com, and that actually brings out people to real life, unlike Facebook. Facebook never brought out a single real person to any of our meetups who had never come before, but meetup.com regularly does, so kudos to them for that. Well worth a service well worth paying for, in my opinion. But these newbies will come out, and they're interested in it. There was one lady who came out who was just, even though she'd written down her password, it was a very arduous process to kind of just get her into the account, get her set up with Google Authenticator, and of course by the next time she was at a meeting, she had completely forgotten the process of how to get into her account. And she's not a stupid person, it's just that she's not technologically adept. And you wouldn't think that you have to be particularly technologically adept to do these things, because we do them every day. Logging into websites is second nature to us, but for people who are not as experienced, it's not second nature for them, and it's a process.
Yeah, so there's a certain amount of just using the internet experience that you have that an older person may not have. I go to see this guy every week who is the founder of our Quaker meeting, and he's in a nursing home, and he's like 85 or 86 or something like that. I brought him an old laptop with some external speakers that I set up on his desk. I plugged everything in and had the whole thing ready to go. Basically, I had a little link on his thing there that he could jump to YouTube. Just 2 things he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. He wanted to, 1, be able to type, and 2, be able to listen to his favorite operas on YouTube.
Okay.
Showed him how to do both of those things, and the next week my laptop was boxed up and ready for me to take away.
Oh no, he'd given up.
He'd just given up. Yeah. That was too much. Whatever it was. And you think how to help people, and it's he did not want to hear anything about, I'll help you do it again, and I'll write this down. He didn't want to hear that.
He was frustrated, huh?
He's done.
Yeah, I think it may not happen with everybody, but I found that people, you get to a certain age and really there's really not a lot of interest in learning these sort of new things. And I ran into this 20 years ago trying to get my grandfather to use email, and particularly my grandmother, who was, why don't you write
a letter?
Why don't you write a letter? And I'm like, here's I bought you a computer. Here's how you do email. We can talk every day, and you can bug all the other grandkids every day and see how they're doing, and it's all that.
It wasn't enough of
this is newfangled crap.
Yeah, I wonder how common that is, because there are some folks who are elderly who are really into the internet. They are with it. They're hip. Yeah. They've got smartphones. So I don't know what percentage of folks are that way.
I would say that it depends on, like, as we get more advanced in age, there's a cutoff point where people are just like, yep, not going to do it. But what I heard from Vernon essentially was, not going to learn this, and I'd rather die. And that was it.
Nice knowing you. When you're done learning, you are ready to die, right? When you're done experiencing, when you're done bringing new experiences in and learning about new things, then why are you here? I mean, I don't mean to be cold, but
I think that
I think that's true.
His frustration with computers isn't new. I thought I was making it as easy as possible, but ultimately, there's a
couldn't find the power button.
There's a level. I think that was the problem.
Yeah.
There's a level of confusion.
Though, to be clear, there's a really entertaining episode of Kids React to Technology where they show the kids on the show old computer, like the old big beige box computer. They couldn't figure out how to turn that thing on. They're looking all over the thing. They have no idea how to flip the power switch in the back. Now, we all know that because we grew up with those things. 855-450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Most people think life insurance pays after you're dead. That's true. But did you know you can have tax-free access to your life insurance while you're still alive? You can use the life benefits of your life insurance to grow your money with certainty and guarantees. No stock market risk, no tax risk, and no penalties. Call Life Benefits if you'd like a free book about how this can be done. Call 702-660-7000. That's 702-660-7000.
This is The Onion Week in Review. In light of reports this week of a Russian crime ring stealing 1.2 billion username and password combinations from internet users, experts from top security firms across the country reportedly advised Americans to refrain from clicking on anything at all. The nation's top security specialists warned individuals to actively avoid any scrolling or swiping on the internet, and further urged Americans, as an added precaution, to steer clear of buttons, keyboards, and computer screens altogether. In other news, an employer botches a job interview. A date's flaws are coming at a woman faster than she can rationalize them, and a going out of business sign thanks a neighborhood for 3 months of no support whatsoever. Whether or not this video news summary eased the pain of your existence, you can now take solace in the fact that you're a few minutes closer to departing this meaningless world. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll free to join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So I had an interesting Bitcoin experience today. I got a sub sandwich from Subway that I went in to pick up. I'd ordered it online. And as I was picking it up, I pulled out a dollar from my wallet. And, of course, I stamp all of my dollars with a Bitcoin.com stamp. It says Bitcoin is internet money, Bitcoin.com, and then there's another URL for people who are in New Hampshire. But so I put that in the tip jar there, and the manager or whoever, the assistant manager, whoever it was that was there, sort of like above in like an upper area looking down, he's like, "Hey, is that Bitcoin?" Because he saw, because there's like a big B, Bitcoin logo on the stamp. And I said, yeah, it's Bitcoin. And he says, somebody left me a $5 Bitcoin tip. And I really wish I'd cash that thing in, meaning that he's talking about bctip.org, which is a website where you can go and print out these. You decide the amount, 5, 10, 20, whatever amount in Bitcoin you want to use, and then you pay for those, and then you print these things up, and you can leave them at like restaurants, which was a pretty cool idea back when Bitcoin didn't cost $15 for every single transaction.
Right.
Now it's pretty much useless. I mean, unless you're insane and want to spend $15 for every transaction that you want to give somebody $5. It doesn't make sense now, but it did back when he got this thing, and then he's regretting it. He said, well, what would that be worth today? And I said, well, when did you get the tip? He says, probably like a year ago. I said, it probably is worth more than $50 today.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh, man, I knew I should have done something with that. And so I said, well, do you have a smartphone? And he said, yeah, I've got a smartphone. I said, well, I can give you some Dash if you want. He's like, what's that? And I said, well, it's kind of like Bitcoin, but more for a transactional currency because Bitcoin's just too expensive to send these days. And he was like, nah, I'm all right, man. So he passed again, right? Like he was complaining about passing on Bitcoin the first time. So I offer him something that's like Bitcoin, but not, it's not Bitcoin. Right. And he was like, it's all right, man. So
it's ridiculous.
You remember Joe, who called in several weeks ago? He was the guy who got arrested in Kansas for doing cryptocurrency transactions.
Yeah.
He was telling me that he used to, when he was mining tons of Bitcoin, he would give paper wallets to strippers as tips.
Oh, wow.
And back then they're like, oh, whatever, And now they're all calling him saying,
is that right?
Yeah.
How the hell did they get his phone number?
That's a really good question. That's the biggest question in this whole story.
Yeah. Let's go to Will in Texas. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead, Will.
Hey, I hope all is well. Can you guys hear me good?
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, so I was listening to an older podcast, and some guy called in and said, why should I have to work for food, or why should humans have to work for food? And Melanie was there. And, she had made a comment and like, well, if you want to end people having to work for food, you change your laws of physics.
Okay.
Do y'all recall that?
Not everyone was here, but go ahead.
Sounds like a snappy comeback.
Yeah, I think you and Mark were there. Anyway, I love that because I totally agree. So you remember I was 18, I got pulled over with beer in the car, and went to jail or got arrested and went to court. And in court, a day or 2 or 5 later, there's a guy. He says, the judge says, "Why have you pay your fee?" He said, "Well, my religion doesn't allow me to work."
My religion doesn't allow me to work.
Yeah, so which is probably, just an excuse to, not have to pay or whatever. But whatever.
Yeah.
But back then I wondered, I was like, if your religion doesn't allow you to work, how do you eat?
I guess you beg.
That means
Maybe he doesn't consider begging work. I don't know.
Yes, sir, I agree, and that's correct. So let's say I beg and you or whoever gives me some food, right? So I'm hungry. So now I have, if you give me some food, like if you give me dollars or something, or you give me some ramen noodles or a hamburger helper with some meat or whatever. So now that you're giving it to me, I have to cook it. Right. Or, you know what I mean? I have to prepare it, I have to have dishes and all these things. And
yeah.
Even if all that stuff is given to me, at the end of the day, I have to do something to eat that food. Yeah, that's how you
sure. You have to do either some food preparation or some cleanup work after the fact, because probably nobody's going to want to serve you hand and foot if you don't have any money to pay them. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
the
sir.
scientific definition of work is using force to move an object a distance. So there you go.
That sounds aggressive to me.
And somebody's got to milk the damn cows, right? Somebody's got to kill the chickens.
I'm triggered, dude. But anyway, but the whole point is, I have my own home and I have my own kitchen, and it's a decent kitchen. I'm not wealthy. I've got like a 2,000 square foot home, and I'm not poor. So anyway, even if people and I have ordered from HelloFresh or one of those Blue Apron things, or whatever, they deliver the food to you. So literally, I pay for it, of course.
Right.
But the food is delivered and it's ready to, it's already portioned out and all these things, and there's instructions and all that. But man, let me tell you, man, it's not like I get there and I just sit at the kitchen table. Now I've got a meal, right?
Yeah.
I paid for it and I have to, even if it was given to me for free, with all the instructions and all the.
There's a lot of work that goes into preparation of a meal. Even if it's not just the work that you do, it's the work that it takes to get the thing to your door, to get the thing out of the garden or the plantation or wherever it was.
I'm reminded of the story of the little red hen.
Okay,
you remember this?
Probably, but you're gonna have to refresh me.
All right, the little red hen, who will help me, plant the corn? Mm-hmm. Who will help me harvest the corn? Who will help me mill the corn? And not I, said the cat. Remember that part?
Yeah.
Not I, said the other barnyard animal, whatever it might be. And finally she says, it's time for me to eat the food, and everybody lines up for their portion.
Not fair.
No.
Fair.
The first libertarian story.
Will, thanks for your call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you, pointing out all the work that goes into even free food provided to people. And
there ain't no such thing as a free lunch.
As
Heinlein once said.
The toll-free number here,
snaffle.
855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. Of course, you can bring in or bring up whatever it is you want. People are talking about Bitcoin. The article from wired.co.uk says that psychology explains why your friends can't shut up about Bitcoin. We'll tell you about that coming up here in moments. But first, we've got Ricky. You're on Free Talk Live, calling from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Thank you there, brother. If I may, a quick little tip real quick before I go into those two answers. You're talking about front-end passcodes, and it is pitiful what people do, but here's a quick little tip. Very simply put, you got area code, you got, exchange, and you got phone number. That's 10 digits. Now, you take two of those, that's a 20-digit front-end passcode. Now, I highly recommend. Now, people can use their first one, but I recommend it is, one that nobody would be able to find out.
Are you giving people password advice and suggesting they use two phone numbers?
I guarantee you, Ricky, that is such a low entropy sort of password that I could crack that in about 2 seconds.
Yes, whatever, 20 digits. If I may go into my story, everybody like to laugh at Ricky from the Commonwealth, whatever.
You just got owned.
Money, like job.
Huh?
I'd love to bet money on that smart crack, like somebody's job.
Oh, yeah? You want to bet him on it, huh?
What's
What's your banking username?
Do you have a job to put up?
I'll bet you your Confederate flag.
Whatever. Oh, shut up.
What are you calling about tonight?
Well, let's see here. Obviously, there's no serious hackers on this show. Regardless.
We don't know about that.
If you only knew who you were talking to.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, no.
The serious hacker who's recommending...
We got a tough guy here.
The serious hacker who is recommending that people have an all-digits password, which, of course, everybody who knows a thing or two about passwords knows that that's not secure because you need to have, like, letters and special characters in there to kind of throw off the brute forcing techniques, right?
And it's better to have a sort of a long password than it is to have a shorter one. More
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, there's more coming up here, and we'll give Ricky another chance here to try to make a point. 855-450 free, like freedom.
Whether you share content as a curator or produce it as a creator, the source of your advertising revenue is often limited by intermediaries like YouTube. What if there was a way to connect content creators directly with advertisers, decentralizing attention-based market advertising transactions and putting the control back into the hands of content owners? Introducing the revolutionary Signal Token Protocol by Spective VR. Partnered with Blend Media, the largest network of 360 video content in the world, and featured on Fox Business's Innovations, Spective VR is a 360 VR streaming platform created to be the first use case and early adopter of the Signal Token Protocol, driving real use and allowing Spective to optimize their platform. SpectiveVR.com is hosting a pre-ICO for Signal tokens starting December 8th at a 40% bonus. For early access to the token sale and an exclusive 60% token bonus, sign up for the email list at SpectiveVR.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNTelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNTelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Don't worry about things you can't control. Isn't that what they always say? But it's about impossible to avoid worrying about what's going on these days. The government has used the war on guns, the war on drugs, and the war on terrorism to tear our Bill of Rights to shreds. But you can fight back. The 10th Amendment Center has proven it, racking up major victories. For example, when the U.S. government claimed authority in the NDAA to have the military kidnap and detain Americans without trial, the nullifiers got a law passed in California, declaring the state's refusal to ever participate in any such thing. Their latest project is offnow.org, nullifying the National Security Agency. They've already gotten model legislation introduced in California, Arizona, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kansas, meant to limit the power of the NSA to spy on Americans in those states. We'd be fools to wait around for the U.S. Congress or courts to roll back Big Brother. Our best chance is nullification and interposition on the state level. Go to offnow.org, print out that model legislation, and get to work nullifying the NSA. The hero Edward Snowden has risked everything to give us this chance. Let's take it. Offnow.org.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can join us on the radio here if you want. You can take control of the airwaves. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. If you want to help build a better financial system for everyone, you can join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it can be private and easy. Fees are low and transactions are quick and can be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. And Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. You can take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. So go to Dash.org and find out why. It's Ian, Mark, and Mike in the studio tonight. Let's go back to Ricky. He is on Skype. Go ahead, Ricky. What was the point you were trying to make tonight?
All right. Now, I'm going to say a quick little story, and I'll answer both your questions you had.
What questions?
Well, first off, can you swear any of your rights away? And second of all, the second question.
Were we talking about that tonight?
No, that was the other night, and they were never answered. And the second one was as far as the right to travel. Someone who
all right, you pick one of those. We're going to do one that you get to pick. We're not going to do them both.
The story answers them both, Ian.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
There's a big punchline at the end. Now, this story goes like this.
I can't wait.
Excuse me?
Go ahead.
Okay, now this happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away in somewhere called California. Now, this person, there's something new come out called the driver's license. Now, this person was a conscientious citizen, so they were out driving one day, and you know what? Somebody stopped him, a lawman. Now, that lawman said to him, hey, I want to see your driver's license. He says, I don't need one. Reason why? The right to travel. Now, he started writing him a ticket. You know what his answer is? You're a comedian. I ain't going to take this ticket. Now, he started arguing with him, and he says, if you keep it up, I'm going to have to call my sergeant or sheriff. I forget which one it was. Now, what happened is he do just that. And you know what? What happened next is that his superior said, you leave him alone. Okay, so now what happened is he go out again. Okay, he go out on the road, and when he gets stopped by this lawman again, same lawman. And what happened is, he says, okay, whatever. And he said, no, I don't need this. I am not going to have this. And he said, he said, you have to call your sergeant or whatever, So he go do it. See, the bad thing is here, now he get yelled at, this lawman. So you never bother that man ever again, no matter what he do on the road. Now, after that, he took his sports car and drove down the highway as fast as he could. That was 90 miles an hour to celebrate, and nobody bothered him. Now, he never had a driver's license till he stopped driving. Now, the only way this works is if you don't accept it in the first place, because the moment you do, you take an oath to the state. Now, that
are you saying that person in the story is you?
No, that person way more important than me and way more famous. That person, you can look up this story in 1929. That person became very famous. His name was President Ronald Reagan. You can look that up.
You're claiming that Ronald Reagan never got a government driver's license or didn't have one in 1927. And
did he have a license plate on this car?
29. That's when it came out. And you know what? The truth is that the only way that works, like I took an oath, one of the things they asked me is if I was ever in the military. Because if I was in the military, they couldn't have done it because I already took an oath. And, under our current system, unfortunately.
What could they not have done if you were in the military?
Receive my honor as deputy of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
What's that have to do with driving without a license?
Because you take an oath to the state. You took an oath to swear to the United States.
You're saying that because you took an oath in the military, you have to have a driver's license?
For once in your damn life, listen and open your ears.
I'm sorry, dude. Are you guys understanding?
I actually understand what he's getting
What's
at.
he saying?
Okay, well, see, driving is actually... Ricky, I get what you're talking about. Let me explain it in a more simpler terms for Ian here, okay?
So he can understand.
Yeah. Okay, so driving is a commercial activity.
That's what they claim.
Yes, while as traveling is not. So if you are navigating your personal conveyance on the public rights of way, you're not violating any laws. But the thing is the state has turned the public rights of way also into channels of commerce, and they presume automatically that any contraption on the road with wheels is a vehicle and not a conveyance, and they assume that you're engaged in commerce.
Yeah, I've heard all those theories before, Ricky. You did if that was what you were trying to explain, you did a terrible job explaining it.
Explain it to Ronald Reagan, brother. Look up the story.
I don't know where I'm going to go find that story. I don't know where to go and look for that, and I don't know if it's true.
I did Google, did Ronald Reagan have a driver's license, and got nothing. I will say that he was born in 1911, which would put him at 18 years old in 1929.
So could have been true. But you know what, Ricky, this is an interesting theory, the whole freedom to travel. I like the theory personally, the idea that you shouldn't have to ask permission to go from point A to point B. You shouldn't have to have some government permission slip. But ultimately, good luck convincing a judge of that.
Actually, he was president of the United States. He ended up for all his life till he never drive again because he had the Alzheimer's. I mean, he was never much of a driver throughout, but you know what? He never got charged, and he became president eventually.
It's a big story. I want to see the proof of somebody putting this into effect today that can consistently defeat the tickets that are written to them for that.
If you accept the driver's license, you're screwed. That's the problem.
Well, our former Wednesday night co-host Jay Noon does not drive with a driver's license, and he actually does have some stories of having charges dropped, but he's also gone to jail over it as well. Thank you for the call tonight. So good luck, getting that to work consistently. I would love to see it work consistently. I would love to see somebody drive around without a license, get ticketed over it, and then just crush it every single time in court. I want to see that. I want to see the proof.
And the problem is you're going to run into cases where they might get away with it, some cases where the judges won't buy the story and they'll convict them, and they have to appeal it up the chain of appeals.
Well, Dick Marple says that if you appeal, that means you're consenting to their rule. So Dick Marple, if you go and you look up his name on YouTube, you'll find video footage that I recorded in a courtroom where he brings up the freedom to travel. He brings up all these things. And this is a guy who spent the last few decades of his life studying these issues.
Yeah, and he's not some fringe guy. He was an elected member of the state legislature.
But he's fun as hell, and I love the guy.
But he has served in the state legislature, and he has drafted legislation.
And the other state reps laugh at him, and they're rude to him, and they derail and deride him, and they schedule his hearings.
But his voters kept sending him back.
I know. I mean, the guy's great. I'm not trying to come down on the dude, but that's just the reality. Is the viewpoint that he advocates, which is this freedom to travel viewpoint. And again, I support it. I've gone in there and testified in favor. I'm the only person frequently who will come and testify for a Dick Marple bill.
Yeah.
Because most people don't want to be seen associating with a Dick Marple bill. He doesn't get like co-sponsors, basically, a lot of the times. It's just him that's putting these things forward, and he's just trying, man. He's trying to get in there and make the government less ridiculous than it is.
If you've got Ian, if you're wanting Ian to testify in your bill, desperation is shown.
I'll go in and I'll testify on anything I want to, because you can do that here in New Hampshire. But Dick Marple, he went into court and he put on this argument, and he was arrested originally for driving while license suspended, and so I guess the argument would be that he had gotten the license at some point. But some of them argue that you can unconsent, you can remove your consent from the system.
If it expires, then essentially the contract is null and void at that point.
Okay.
Legally it should be. So if it's expiring, then it should no longer be enforced.
Well, the judge found him guilty in that case.
Well, you just heard Ricky say that that's just not acceptable.
Yeah. Despite the fact that he, made a great argument in front of the court. He never consented to the court's jurisdiction. He didn't consent to even pass the bar in the court. He didn't walk past the gate. You know, there's like the conspiracy theory that if you don't go past the gate,
he bellowed from the audience.
Yep. It's entertaining as hell, man. I mean, if you want to see, it's probably one of the most entertaining court videos you'll see because
he does know how to put on the show there.
Sure does. He'll yell at the judge and get away with it. And he's either getting away with it because he's an elderly man or because he's also a state representative, and she's treating him with kid gloves in this case, and she doesn't want to be seen as, on video especially, she doesn't want to be seen yelling at a state rep.
Any chance she just thinks he's deaf?
I don't know. But the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. But when I asked him, I said, Dick, are you going to be appealing this decision, the guilty ruling? He said, no, you can't appeal or else that consents to their system. So he's trying some sort of an administrative remedy through, I think, the Secretary of State's office, which maybe that'll work. I doubt it. More coming up here. Free Talk Live.
Guys, wouldn't your wife or girlfriend love it if you treated her to the very best this Christmas? Well, you can, and you don't even have to go out of your way. We're talking about the world's softest pajamas, available exclusively at pajamagram.com. That's pajamagram.com. Created by a team of dedicated pajama experts, the world's softest pajamas are lighter than a cloud, softer than a bunny, like cashmere, only better. She'll love the way the world's softest pajamas feel, and you'll love the way they look. More than a gift, they're a feeling, an invitation to relax a little longer. The world's softest pajamas are available only at pajamagram.com. Visit today and give her a gift that keeps on giving to both of you. Plus, you don't even have to wrap because every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging and Christmas delivery is guaranteed. So visit pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, December 13th, 2017. Silver is trading at $15.71 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,241 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 8.5 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $17,222. Antiwar.com reports while early in the Saudi invasion of Yemen, the U.S. was more on the supply side of famine, participating in the naval blockade. USAID Chief Mark Green has announced another round of $130 million in U.S.-provided food aid is being set aside for Yemen, citing the mounting humanitarian catastrophe. Whether the food will ever get there, however, is another matter. Green confirmed there's been no sign of any easing of the Saudi-led blockade of Yemen, despite repeated U.S. demands over the past week for the Saudis to allow the aid in. Indeed, not only have the Saudis not accepted the repeated U.S. calls for aid to be allowed in, there's no sign that the Saudis have acknowledged the calls at all, seemingly ignoring the situation entirely as the civilian toll mounts. The blockade has been a serious problem for northern Yemen, where a single port is expected to provide food, medicine, and fuel for some 15 million civilians, but which the Saudis have repeatedly blocked UN and other aid ships from entering. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organization to show up in an emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT NoGov license. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com. UPI reports the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld a ban on new uranium mining in the Grand Canyon on Tuesday, while also upholding a mining company's right to mine in the area since before the ban. The case regarding new claims came from one Arizona man's response to a 20-year ban on new claims imposed in 2012 under then Interior Secretary Ken Salazar. Gregory Yount challenged the ban despite not having ever mined uranium before and with no real plans to do so. Yount gave several reasons for challenging the ban, including a First Amendment argument in which he said protections in the area are due to Native American beliefs was based on archaic religious dogma. But the Ninth Circuit dismissed those arguments and ruled that the Interior Secretary has a right to enforce mining bans on public lands. However, the ban could be lifted by current Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke. In the other opinion released Tuesday, the Ninth Circuit rejected the Havasupai tribe's efforts to evict companies that had mining rights before the 2012 new claims ban. The tribe, who have lived at the bottom of the Grand Canyon for more than 800 years, argued that the U.S. Forest Service violated the National Historic Preservation Act when it failed to consult with the tribe before granting uranium mining rights to mining companies. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports an out-of-control California wildfire that has already destroyed nearly 700 homes in its path of destruction crept closer to the upscale hillside community of Montecito on Tuesday, despite calmer winds that slowed its progress. The Thomas Fire, which broke out on December 4th, has since traveled 27 miles to become the fifth largest blaze in state history. It has blackened more than 368 square miles in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties, an area larger than that of New York City. Officials said that while the flames charred another 2,500 acres overnight, a break in the hot, dry Santa Ana winds on Tuesday sapped its forward momentum and allowed crews to prevent further damage to some homes. Captain Steve Concialdi of CAL FIRE said it's doing what we want it to do. The fire is staying away from the homes. The flames are 25% contained as of Tuesday evening. He said that some of the 7,000 firefighters deployed against the blaze have taken advantage of the better weather to set control burns in a canyon near the community of Carpinteria and near homes in an effort to further deprive the flames of fuel. The National Weather Service has warned that the Santa Ana winds could return as early as Wednesday, meaning the fire remains dangerous and unpredictable. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Could dropping bombs on Afghans without warning from terrifying robot airplanes that fly themselves actually hurt America's efforts to stabilize Afghanistan?
It's complicated. No, not at all. Actually, I think we need to stay the course. You don't change horses midstream, and you don't stop firing missiles from unseen death droids soaring high above the clouds just because a couple of schools get blown up.
We have got to find another way to obliterate this population.
What about flaming bulldozers or 50-foot-tall tanks?
Let's do what we can for these civilians. I mean, why not name the drones Billy or Steve to make them seem less dispassionate?
Oh, that is a terrible idea. Billy is a horrible name for a drone.
They're now developing a 40-foot robot that actually looks more like an American soldier and also sprays lasers out of his eyes.
Well, at least that's a step forward.
Hey, look, as long as it fires missiles and bombs with very little accuracy and zero Americans are at threat, I'm all for it.
Good point.
They should give it funny, floppy arms.
Yes.
Oh, it should spray candy out of its chest a few minutes before it starts shooting everything.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. You, as always, can join us here toll-free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. It's Skype username LRN.FM. Been doing a lot of Bitcoin discussion here tonight. And Mike, you actually just informed me during that news break that there's apparently a lawsuit against the Bit license, the New York government Bit license. I hope we get a chance to talk about that coming up here. We're going to go to your phone calls and thoughts. It's Ian, Mark, and Mike in the studio. Let's go first to Roger Paxton. He is on the line with us here from Skype over in the seacoast of New Hampshire. Hello, Roger.
Hey, Ian. How's it going?
Hey, man. Doing great. What's going on tonight?
Well, so my co-host for the Resist the Empire podcast, Brian McQuaid, and I are doing a very, very special fundraiser starting in about 1 hour. And I just wanted to call you guys and chat about it.
Tell me what you're up to. Resist the Empire, first of all, you've mentioned before on the air, but let our listeners know what that is.
So Resist the Empire is a Star Wars libertarian view of the Star Wars universe. We basically take, Star Wars TV shows, movies, comics, books, the whole 9 yards, break it down from a libertarian perspective, and just try to, merge that pop culture with some libertarianism to kind of get the word out about libertarianism.
So do you feel like
do you think you could do that with Star Trek?
Oh, I think it absolutely could be done with Star Trek. There's
Really?
a lot of politics and that sort of thing in Star Trek.
Such
too,
a socialist.
Yeah, isn't it a
future.
commie? Didn't
Star
a commie
Trek.
write it? Yeah, Star Trek.
It is, absolutely, but there are a lot of libertarian themes in there as well. And Star Wars has a lot of the socialist type stuff, but it also has quite a bit of libertarianism as well.
And you guys have been doing this podcast since when?
Oh, gosh, almost a year now we've been doing the podcast.
So this is the first marathon version that you've done?
Yeah, so what we're doing starting at 10 o'clock tonight Eastern time is we're going to watch.
Good timing.
Right. We're going to watch all of the movies from episode 1 through 3, then Rogue One, then 4, 5, 6, 7, and then Brian, my co-host, was able to get us the first viewing of The Last Jedi in New Hampshire.
Wow.
So we're going to see that at 6 p.m. tomorrow night, right after we watched all the other movies.
When was the last time you slept? Did you sleep in today, or like?
I woke up at 9 o'clock this morning, and I've been trying to get everything ready for this. And
so basically, you're going to be delirious by the time you get to actually go and watch the movie.
I will be delirious. So we're going to be doing a non-spoiler review afterwards, right after we watch The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
We're going to be posting that to all of our media channels afterwards. So I might not be very coherent in that review, but I'm going to try.
It might actually increase the enjoyability of the movie. When I saw the Star Wars, the number 7 one that happened 2 years ago, I went watching it. I went on mushrooms, and it was fantastic. So that you may have a similar experience if you've stayed up long enough.
It certainly could, for sure.
What do you think about the number 7 there, Roger?
I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, there were a lot of recurring themes in it, which I think that they really kind of needed to do, that J.J. Abrams needed to do to make people feel like it was Star Wars. I mean, you had Starkiller Base, which was basically Death Star 3.0, and a lot of those recurring themes. But it was such a Star Wars movie. I think that J.J. Abrams did a really great job with it. I've enjoyed it.
So I want to know, am I just a cynical, mean, old, crotchety man? If I went with my son, I said nothing because I remember very clearly in, I think it was 77, that, I was like 6 years old.
That's when the original came out.
And my dad took me to see Star Wars and just was floored by what I saw. It was the most amazing thing I'd ever experienced.
The effects are amazing. They're
it was
incredible.
I mean, it was a movie that changed my life and the way that I viewed things for so long, and I didn't want to mess with that at all for my son in any way, shape, or form. But I just sat there going, "Oh God."
Well, I was born in 76, and the first one came out, of course, in 77. And one of the earliest memories I have in my life is seeing R2D2 and C3PO on the big screen. That's the earliest memory I can remember. So Star Wars has been a big part of my life ever since then. Of course, now it's a huge part of my kids' life. And that's kind of what we're doing here is this marathon is not just for kicks. While it's going to be a lot of fun, we're trying to raise at least $1,000 for the Starlight Children's Foundation. And that's basically a charity that brings, joy and comfort to kids who are in the hospital and their families. And so they bring virtual reality games and fun centers and character hospital gowns and celebrity visits and all this stuff to these kids who are going through some of the toughest times of their lives. And, they do this at 700 hospitals around the country, including several right here in New Hampshire.
Wow.
And since 1982, they've brought smiles to 60 million kids and families. So our goal is to help raise $1,000, at least $1,000, for that wonderful, wonderful charity.
What's the link, and are you taking crypto?
We are. We're taking just about any crypto you can imagine. The link is resisttheempirepodcast.com/livestream. But we'll take Ethereum, Bitcoin, Dash, Litecoin, and if there's a crypto out there that you want to give us, I'll download a wallet for it.
Next year we'll have Galacticoin for you that'll fit right in.
What's the link again?
It's resisttheempirepodcast.com/livestream.
And it's going to kick off at 10 o'clock Eastern Time tonight, and it's going to go through basically tomorrow evening.
Yes, we'll be finished watching all of the first 7 movies about 4 o'clock tomorrow. Then we'll be at the theater at 6 p.m. to see the new one, The Last Jedi. We can't wait.
And so you're going to end the stream at around 6 tomorrow. You're going to go see The Last Jedi, the first showing. Then you're going to record a review podcast and put that up over at resisttheempirepodcast.com.
Yes, and it'll be on our Facebook channel, our YouTube channel, and of course on our podcast feed as well.
Wow. Well, best of luck with this. It's a big undertaking to do. Now you're going to be sitting there watching the movie most of the time, but will there be commentary at all?
Of course. I mean, we're definitely going to be watching the movies, but we plan on giving a lot of commentary as well. We're going to have hopefully some special guests show up, some friends of ours and stuff to help kind of make it more entertaining. We're going to be running some games.
Will you be in costume?
No, we will not be in costume. I will be wearing my Stop Wars T-shirt.
That's a good one.
Based on the Star Wars logo.
I love that shirt.
But I won't be in costume.
All right. Anything else that our listeners need to know besides resisttheempirepodcast.com/livestream to check it out?
Just check it out. Make sure to give us some money because we can use every bit of it that you can give us. And it's resisttheempirepodcast.com/livestream.
Sent.
Mark just sent you some, what was that? Bitcoin Cash?
Litecoin. I'm so glad I can get rid of some of that. I just hate it.
You hate Litecoin? It's been going up in
I know.
price.
I bought Litecoin at $99.
I need therapy.
It's $300 today.
I bought Litecoin at less than a penny, and got out because Eric Voorhees said altcoins were awful.
I know a company
$6.
Litecoin as an investment.
I'll bet. I don't have much.
Well, the good news is, according to your donation page, you're already to a quarter of your goal. So congratulations.
Well, we were 255, and now with Daryl Perry actually sent us 10 in Dash, and you just sent me some in Litecoin. So we're doing really well now.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, let us know
before you start.
Let us know how it goes. If you get a chance to call in again, maybe if you're not too sleepy.
If we're not exhausted when we get out of the movie tomorrow, I'll give you guys a call.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Take care.
Thank you for the call tonight. Roger Paxton from the Lava Flow podcast, which you can hear on his website, obviously, but also over at lrn.fm. Of course,
I can put that up on the Facebook feed, by the way.
The slash live stream link, that one. Cool. I like it. And those guys do good work out there. And if they did the Star Wars podcast a little more often, it would be included on the lrn.fm live stream, but it's not a weekly show. So that's the reason why that particular show doesn't get aired on lrn.fm. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. We go to Venkman on the line in FEMA Region 9, he says, on the Skype lines. Go ahead, Venkman.
Hey, I'm just calling. I read some headlines and saw just a little bit of info, but I hadn't had much time to jump into it. Allegedly, there's some federal government or federal government oppressors are drafting some language that is unfriendly to cryptos, specifically to the possession of cryptos and your ability or inability to hide them. It would be a crime to hide them as a, quote, money transmitter. My understanding is for the private person immediately that may not be such a big deal because, money transmitter is kind of up to the person defining it, in this case, the federal government. But that can pretty much go pretty awry pretty quickly over time. And I'm just wondering if you guys had any information on the
So you're saying I should keep the Vaseline away from my Ledger Nano?
So I'm wondering if you had any information about what that might look like.
Yeah, I hadn't heard. I'd seen some kind of headline about a piece of legislation looking to criminalize hiding cryptocurrencies, but I didn't know it was only applicable to money transmitters. But if you want, hang on. We can discuss that here in moments. And, it's hard to get excited about a piece of legislation because it may not pass. More coming up.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try at dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are 2 Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
Shop online and support Free Talk Live. Every purchase you make at shop.freetalklive.com helps spread a message of liberty. From shop.freetalklive.com, you can shop at places like Walmart, Newegg, Amazon UK, Amazon Canada, Omaha Steaks, HostGator, and more. Plus, you can get discounts on web hosting, legal documents, or pretty much anything using saveatpurse.com. Just bookmark the link and help Free Talk Live while shopping online. Thank you for shopping with shop.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free to join us here at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. And the Skype username is LRN.FM. With you in the studio, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And Mike.
We're going to go back to your calls and thoughts here in a moment. We had a question from Venkman who dropped off the line, but we should still probably address the question. Also, it is that time of the year to start thinking real hard about what to get people for your favorite holiday, which is probably pretty imminent here. But it's not too late to get your orders in over at omahasteaks.com. Make sure you use code FTL up in the search bar so you can get the family gift pack, which is loaded with products that you're going to enjoy. Lots of different types of meat, and I'll tell you about them here in a moment. For less than $50, you get the family gift pack. But it's not just that at Omaha Steaks. They've got the most flavorful, tender-aged beef, aged for 21 days to unlock the full flavors of the cuts. It's hand-trimmed and vacuum-sealed and then shipped to you in a cooler full of dry ice. It gets there cold. We've enjoyed a lot of the Omaha Steaks products here at the studio, and Mark, you at your house have powered through them because they're delicious.
Yep, they really are. It's really nice to be able to have great steaks delivered right to your door.
Right, and you just pull it out of your freezer when you want to do it. They've also got seafood, poultry, pork, veal, lamb, veggies, desserts, appetizers, pasta, soup, seasonings, sauces, and more. You head over to omahasteaks.com, use code FTL in the search bar, and you get the family gift pack for less than $50, which includes 2 filet mignons, 2 top sirloins, 2 boneless pork chops, 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 kielbasa sausages, 4 burgers, 4 potatoes au gratin, 4 caramel apple tartlets for dessert, and you get the Omaha Steak seasoning packet, and they'll add in 4 additional kielbasa sausages for free. So it's a great sampler to give you a taste of some of what you can expect from omahasteaks.com. And again, don't forget, use code FTL in the search bar so we get credit for sending you to the site, and you get the family gift pack at 75% off. Again, code FTL, like Free Talk Live, in the search bar. So we had Venkman on the line a moment ago. He had asked about this bill that he'd heard about in the Senate that he believed would be making it illegal to hide, or for a money transmitter to hide the fact that they have Bitcoin. Now, according to the news headlines I had seen, and I'm presuming this is what he was talking about because, again, he dropped off the line during the break, but there were headlines within the last week like this one from Bitcoin Magazine, headline, U.S. Senate mulls reporting requirements for cryptocurrencies. And they say American Bitcoin holders may soon have to report their holding to the United States government. First introduced in May of 2015 by Senator Chuck Grassley, Senate Bill S-1241, the, quote, Combating Money Laundering, Terrorist Financing, and Counterfeiting Act of 2017, unquote, can have these serious implications for those involved in the cryptocurrency space. The hearing for this bill was held...
Which country would you move to if they passed this, Ian?
I'm not really worried about it. I don't own anything. The hearing for S-1241 was held with virtually no public notice on November 28th, 2017, and they do have the 2-hour-long hearing that you can watch over at bitcoinmagazine.com in this case. But they say currently the definition of financial institution includes banks, trust companies, credit unions, currency exchanges, and the like. But according to this new bill, it would amend the definition of financial institution to include, quote, an issuer, redeemer, or cashier of prepaid access devices, digital currency, or any digital exchanger or tumbler of digital currency. So they would be expanding the definition of financial institution if this passes.
You know, Chuck E. Cheese just came out with a card for their tokens, so I assume that that's going to make Chuck E. Cheese a money transmitter.
It's possible. Senator Dianne Feinstein said in her opening remarks of the hearing, quote, this bill criminalizes intentionally concealing ownership or control of a bank account, she says. Although during the hearing, no further clarifications were given as to the effects this would have on the cryptocurrency community. Based on the amended definition of financial institution, it would seem that the bill would criminalize anyone intentionally concealing ownership or control of a digital currency or exchange account. While there is no finalized bill yet, the implication would be that cryptocurrency holders need to fill in federal registration forms for tax disclosure, quarterly reporting, and more. Notably, while the purpose of the bill in the hearing had to do with adding digital currencies and exchanges to the definition of financial institutions, there was almost no discussion on the topic other than briefly in reference to drug cartels using them to launder money. So there's obviously going to be pushback on this from Bitcoiners. But are you guys afraid? You think this is going to happen?
The problem with this bill apparently is that the term digital currency has been inserted into it, and it's the only type of currency or instrument that hasn't been defined in the bill. All the other forms have been. So this leaves a very broad scope for police to assume that anything electronic falls under this. And
so like the Linden dollars or whatever.
Yeah.
Very disturbing, but of course the financial industry hopefully will be pushing back against this, and there is the chance that it won't pass. So I don't know the best way for people to get involved with opposing this particular piece of legislation.
Write letters to your Congress critter or your senator and say you're opposing 1241 and
Senate Bill S1241. So there you go. But I suspect that even if this bill does pass, most of the cryptocurrency holders in the United States will not report their holdings to the federal government, which is why the IRS is mad, because Coinbase, refused to report all their million accounts or whatever to the IRS.
But they did cave on...
They lost in court. I don't know if you can call that caving. They did fight the IRS's request to retrieve a million account details.
But they could have appealed it, and they chose not to.
Good point. But that's why you don't hold your Bitcoin with Coinbase, and you shouldn't buy your Bitcoin with Coinbase if you can avoid it, because then you're just on the record. All of your purchases
it's like dealing
and sales
with a bank.
Are on the record. So
it's the easiest to use, though.
Right, that's the trade-off, is in return for the convenience, you have the lack of privacy that comes along with that. So keep that in mind as you consider where to get your crypto. Let's go to Dick. He's in the Commonwealth of Alaska, listening online. Go ahead, Dick.
Yes, since we're on the subject of cryptocurrency, I should thank you guys, because you guys got me started in it about 2 years ago. It was around Christmas time, and you just started advertising with Purse.
Wow, that's great.
And that was my reason to get in. I didn't really have the money to invest in anything, and I didn't believe in investing in cryptocurrency just because I believed in it, but I couldn't afford to invest. But I said, you know what, this is a way I can use it, and it makes sense. And I used it at Christmas and then stopped, and I had about $40 left in my between my Purse and my Coinbase and whatnot.
Yep.
And that has grown and grown and grown, and I forgot about it. And I think when Bitcoin started hitting about 1,000 early this year, I looked at it and I was like, wow. So I got to thank you guys for that.
You're welcome.
And
send the millions along anytime you want once you get to the millions
that
point.
Should be about at the point where you can buy a new snowmobile with that, can't you?
It's been 40 degrees for 2 weeks up here, if you can believe it.
Send the warm? Send the warm weather down to New
we
Hampshire.
Just got a foot of snow. Oh man.
I'll trade you any day. I wish we had some snow on the ground, I'll tell you what. But anyway, what I was calling about...
Well, hold that thought. First of all, you're welcome. We're glad we could help introduce you to cryptocurrencies, and we'll get to what you're calling about here in a moment, but I appreciate the kudos. If you would like to, if you're out there and you've got some cryptocurrency burning a hole in your pocket, you can go to bitcoin.freetalklive.com. We've updated all the Bitcoin and Dash and Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Core donation links there, so check that out at bitcoin.freetalklive.com.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you about to meet the media? If you're about to be interviewed, do their homework for them. Know this about the person who will interview you. He or she is busy, so expect minimal, if any, preparation. He or she doesn't know as much about your topic as you do. He or she isn't as concerned as you are about getting your message out. So you need to take responsibility. Provide a biography and fact sheet, photographs, or other materials that tell your story. Reporters won't be put off if you supply frequently asked questions. Remember, Public Speaking 101, at the end of the speech, what's the one thing you want them to remember? You can download the document I supply to reporters who interview me and squirm through a video that demonstrates how not to conduct your media interview at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Just dial in toll-free here at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And Mike.
Also, we're going to continue with your phone calls in 1 moment.
Whole Food Multi-Complete is so much more than a multivitamin. Besides vitamins and minerals, it's got an enzyme blend, a probiotic blend, an antioxidant blend, immune support, bone and joint support, and energy support. These are all the things you need for going throughout the day, and they've been doing this for 15 years, quietly providing what the big guys won't, the perfect blend of supplements in a single product. They've taken the expense and the complexity out of following a complete supplement program. Visit simplifymysupplements.com to learn more. Enter coupon code FTL to receive 10% off your order every time you order. Satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. Yes, they take Bitcoin. Simplifymysupplements.com, coupon code FTL.
All right, let's go back to Dick in Alaska, back on Free Talk Live. You were saying thanks to us for introducing you to Bitcoin back in 2012. You've done well with it on just even a relatively small purchase, but that wasn't the reason you were calling, so please go ahead.
Well, what you guys have instilled in me is the idea that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are currencies. And if you read the news a lot lately, people will be calling Bitcoin a bubble and an investment. And just because I don't believe in it as an investment certainly doesn't mean you shouldn't buy into it, and doesn't mean you won't make a lot of money in it. Mm-hmm. But it is not an investment in the sense that it's a stock. You're not buying a business when you buy Bitcoin. It should be something that you have plans for in the future to use. It's a currency. So one of the things you guys showed me was why is Bitcoin valuable and useful, and the reason is it has uses that other currencies don't have. You can't use.
Just to be clear, though, before you go on, I mean, an investment doesn't necessarily mean that you're investing in a business. Any kind of thing that you can put money into that could result in you losing it all.
You can invest in commodities of all kinds, and a lot of the experts are calling blockchain cryptocurrencies a new asset class.
Anyway, go ahead with your point, Dick.
So, bottom line, I think, is it's got to be something you can see yourself using. And, a currency that's constantly going up in value, no one really wants to spend.
That's true.
But also, you guys have brought up some of the, the cons of Bitcoin lately, with transactions taking longer and being much more expensive.
Right.
And so that's kind of gotten me recently to diversify. I bought Dash because I really like the philosophy that you guys have talked about with Dash, with very low rates and just quicker exchanges, as well as Monero, which I have not gotten any yet, but I like their anonymity. So my question for you guys would be just some of the altcoins. What are not the pros of them, but the cons? And specifically, I'd want to know, what are the cons of Litecoin, Ethereum, and IOTA? And just are there any other obvious flaws? I think the biggest flaw all these have is name recognition. People, you start talking to a stranger about Bitcoin, and they'll nod their head and say, "Yeah, I heard of that." If you start talking about 18 different other currencies, and they have no idea what you're talking about.
That's why the new fad seems to be to fork Bitcoin, because you can automatically get this huge market of existing Bitcoin users that you're giving free coins to. So
they said that Super Bitcoin forked yesterday.
Well, we need to do an ultra Bitcoin next. And
what I would say about Litecoin is
Super Bitcoin Turbo.
Litecoin is it's older tech.
Bitcoin XL.
If Bitcoin is the Model T of cryptocurrency, then Litecoin is a Model T with a little honky horn on the front. You could get basically Dash is Litecoin, but with a huge mixing
with a governance structure
and a governance structure and marketing and all kinds of other stuff. So I would say,
but yet Litecoin's crushing Dash right now in the charts.
It's true.
So just generally, I'd like to say that about alts, if you don't mind, before you go on, is that the altcoins tend to not rise as fast as Bitcoin. So even though they are up, most of them, as Bitcoin goes up, a lot of the alts go up too. But in many cases, they're outclassed by Bitcoin Core as it continues to rise.
In dollar amounts, yes, they don't go up as much. But
I'm talking about compared to Bitcoin. But they lose compared to Bitcoin, lose value.
But the percent gain, because they're so low priced anyways, the volatility, you can get actually large profits by trading the volatility, because the volatility is much broader compared to the small price of a lot of the alts.
Yeah, I'm not a trader, so I don't know anything about that. But I just buy and hold on to things and see what happens to them. So, I mean, if you're looking for the maximum return, probably keeping it in Bitcoin is a good idea, but then you don't want to keep all your eggs in one basket. So, what are the ups and downs of all these different things? I mean, you mentioned Ethereum. That is like a programming language more than a currency. So it's
although it's up over to $700 now.
Yeah. It's a bit of a different animal, sort of. And it's the number 2 crypto, and then of course Bitcoin Cash, which is a better, faster version of Bitcoin. There's really no Bitcoin anymore. I think Bitcoin, you can basically say, died in August of 2017 when it split into Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core, because nothing is exactly what it was, prior to August. Neither
Bitcoin
of those two things.
Cash is probably closer, but Bitcoin Core appears to, that's what people are still calling Bitcoin, basically.
IOTA is an up-and-comer. It's shot up over the charts in the last few weeks, big time, going from like 50 cents to $5.
It's got huge potential because of its potential for utilizing it to track Internet of Things objects.
But at this point, it doesn't even have a functioning web wallet or a phone wallet.
it's got a functioning phone wallet, but you're still in an early beta, basically.
Yeah, they're still developing a lot of the functionality that are going to allow it to be used for Internet of Things applications.
Yeah, so there's an exciting future potentially for IOTA, but it's got some weaknesses too, from what I understand. And again, it's pretty early on in that one. But of course, a lot of the time, people want to get in early on these things in the hopes that they're going to go up. Of course, you never know what's going to happen. Dick, I'm sorry, what else did you want to say there?
A friend of mine who has recently gotten into cryptocurrencies, is a fan of Litecoin, and he compared it to silver, whereas Bitcoin is gold in terms of Litecoin is cheaper transactions and quicker and kind of easier to use. And he never answered because I'm aware that Litecoin's been around for quite a while, and like you said, it's very similar to Bitcoin. Is Litecoin cheaper transactions simply because there's not as much traffic on it and the block size isn't full?
Yeah.
So there's nothing technologically that makes it that much better than Bitcoin.
There's adopted SegWit first. It has
but that doesn't do anything to.
It has faster block generation time, so it can handle a faster throughput of transactions. But it's lower price mainly because you get more Litecoins generated per block reward than you do with Bitcoin.
And there's a lot more Litecoins out there than there are of Bitcoins as well. In fact, I saw a post from what was allegedly a post from one of the Bitcoin Core programmers who actually said that he didn't understand why people thought Litecoin was any better than Bitcoin because it's basically the same thing. And that if you want to get cheap transactions with cryptocurrency, he recommended Bitcoin Cash. And this is somebody who is a Bitcoin Core programmer saying that, admitting that Bitcoin Core and Litecoin are not platforms for affordable transactions.
And just about nobody, accepts Litecoin. And frankly,
you mean at like point of sale?
Yeah,
or?
Point of sale.
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I have. Again, there's not a lot. I wish there were more.
Yeah. Dick, thanks for calling with the question tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Another place you might want to ask that question is on the crypto forums over at forum.freetalklive.com. There's some cryptocurrency discussion happening there regularly, and that might be a good way to crowdsource some answers because obviously everybody's got their opinions about these altcoins, and you talk to three different traders, you're probably going to find three different opinions about which altcoins are the best and which ones have the most potential. In fact, I believe there actually is a thread that I think one of our listeners started about that very topic within the last 24 to 48 hours. So you might want to go check that out at forum.freetalklive.com. And thank you, Dick, for the call tonight. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live. We got more coming up. Time for you.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the Crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The Crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the Crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the Crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Have you ever wondered who the second person to discover gravity was? When you're in the mood for a treat, would you go to the second best bakery in town? Or how about the name John Breckenridge? Recognize it? If you don't, that's because he came in second to Abraham Lincoln. The firsts are first for a reason. Just how ID Stronghold was the first to create the technology to protect your credit cards from thieves with RFID chip scanners. ID Stronghold products block signals from those scanners, so thieves can't capture your critical data. Get a stronghold on your personal information and protect your family too. Don't settle for the second best wallet. Pick up ID Stronghold wallets for everyone on your list this holiday season. They're the perfect stocking stuffer, with leather wallets starting as low as $20 on Walmart.com, eBay, Amazon, and QVC. Save 10% by using coupon code PRESENT for a limited time. That's coupon code PRESENT only on IDstronghold.com. idstronghold.com.
Free Talk Live.
Trisha, you deserve the forgiveness. Absolutely. I know that it feels like you've made some mistakes, and you know what? You have made mistakes. Now, it doesn't feel like this.
Who hasn't?
Right. A, it doesn't make any sense for you to continue to beat yourself up. You're not going to get anything out of it. Nobody else is going to get anything out of it.
That's
but
true.
B, you would give the forgiveness to somebody else. You deserve that forgiveness for yourself.
And only you can give it to yourself.
I mean,
and I think forgiveness is about moving on for yourself, being able to come to a position in your own mind where you're ready to just accept what went wrong and try your best to do better in the future. And find self-assess and find areas that you can improve. And I think, bringing forgiveness to the table for yourself is one of the most important things that you can do.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free to join us right here in these remaining moments. There's enough time for you if you dial in right now. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Mark.
And Mike.
Lots of cryptocurrency discussion here tonight because, well, people are talking about cryptocurrency. It's in the news. It's on. It's buzzworthy, I think, at this point, now that Bitcoin has blown through the $10,000 mark. What was that, 2 weeks ago or something like that? It's now at around $16,000 US. It's sort of hit a little plateau here for the last few days, sort of between $15,000 and $17,000.
Yeah, it had a big spike leading up to the Chicago futures market. Yeah, options exchange in Chicago, and
which they added on Sunday night, and they crashed their servers.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, so much response. But the exchange itself kept functioning, but their website crashed.
I see.
But since then, there was a lot of volatility, and things have started to stabilize out. But it looks like their futures are predicting prices to rise in January to around 18,000, and then maybe 18,600 in February.
That's a conservative estimate.
Yeah. But it is
18,000 is possible by the end of this week.
Right. So we'll see what happens. But
we will indeed. So if you want to join us here, toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. And if you want to help support Free Talk Live, you can do that over at amp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is you send $5 a month into the show using PayPal or credit card. Or if you want, you can do Bitcoin. You just go to amp.freetalklive.com to get signed up and get access to the AMP perks, like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, AMP-only podcast, the AMP-only Facebook group, and you also, as an amplifier, get a special AMP badge for the Free Talk Live forum. So head over to amp.freetalklive.com to get signed up. It helps us out a lot. It helps us get on new radio stations, and hopefully we'll be announcing at least another one by the end of this year. So once again, go to amp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to George. He's in St. George, Utah. George, you're on Free Talk Live, listening online via TuneIn.
Hey, I was wondering if you've heard of BitPay, the card.
Yes, I have. I have one in my wallet.
Cool. What's your opinion on using those things?
I haven't used it a whole lot, honestly, but I have used it several times, I would say, maybe 10 times or something like that. and it works fine. It's a Bitcoin-fueled debit card. So for listeners that aren't familiar with the concept, this is an actually pretty simple way for people to get out of cryptocurrency, right? So one of the big questions when somebody gets into cryptocurrency is, well, how do I cash this out? Because it's easy to buy cryptocurrency. It's a little bit of a different process sometimes to sell the cryptocurrency. So if I bought cryptocurrency from an individual, that same individual may not want to buy the crypto back from me, and I may not easily be able to find somebody who wants to buy the crypto from me. So what do I do then? Well, I don't want to go on Coinbase or whatever. BitPay is an option. They're a competitor to Coinbase, but more of a business-facing kind of competitor. They do merchant service providing to businesses that want to accept cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specifically, at point of sale, either in real life or online via a website. But I don't know, a couple of years ago, they added this BitPay debit card thing, which they'll allow anybody to get one of these things. I mean, presumably you have to pass some kind of credit check. I'm not sure what level of denials they will give to people, but it is a relatively simple process to get one. You usually pay to have the card issued. Most of these Bitcoin debit cards, there's probably more than a dozen competitors out there to BitPay. Some of them operate in the U.S., some of them don't, but around the world there are a lot of these debit cards out there. And so you usually pay a fee, a small $10, $15 fee to have the card delivered to you. There's usually no fee to load the card with your Bitcoin. And that what that means is you send...
Other than the transaction fee.
Right, there's a transaction fee to send the Bitcoin. But what you do is you send the Bitcoin to an address that BitPay provides you, or whatever company provides it to you. And then at that moment, it translates the Bitcoin into US dollars, and then it loads the card with dollars. Unless you get the Shift card, which Mike was just saying off the air that he's gotten one of these things from Coinbase, which does it differently.
Yeah, I got this. It arrived, I think, Monday, and I authorized it, and I thought I had pointed it at the right wallet on my Coinbase account, and I went to my local pizza place saying, hey, I'm going to buy a pizza with some Bitcoin, and it got declined. And I went back and I said, hey, blah, 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 blah. I've got a lot of Bitcoin in my wallet that this is pointing to, and they said, no, there's nothing in that. So we went back and forth. I tried it again. It declined. And then finally...
Was this all at the same visit to the same pizza place, or did you go back?
I went back in the evening.
Day. Okay.
And so they said, just cancel the API authentication on your Coinbase account for the Shift card, and then re-authenticate it. And now it's working.
But the important point about Shift is that it actually deducts from your account at the time of the purchase, which is different from every other Bitcoin debit card out there, because every other one, like BitPay, you load the Bitcoin in advance and it translates the money then, whereas when you're with the Shift card, it's doing the translation at the time of the purchase, so therefore you're not risking a crazy price swing. So if you drop, a tenth of a Bitcoin into one of these cards, so $1,600 onto one of these cards right now, and then Bitcoin doubles to $32,000, well, your card's only going to have the $1,600 on it. It's not going to double, whereas yours would, Mike. Your Shift card would increase in its value because it's holding Bitcoin the whole time. I think that's a pretty cool feature. So if I were looking for one of these Bitcoin debit cards, that would be the feature. That's the killer app.
I've told all my employees to get Shift cards.
I mean, I can't stand Coinbase, but you got to hand it to them. That is a killer app, and it's a shame that nobody else is doing it.
I'm sure others will start adopting that.
But what took so long? I mean, Shift card's been around for a couple of years.
They had to reach a deal with a bank that was willing to do it this way, and all the others are basically issuing prepaid debit cards that get loaded.
Yeah,
and this is an actual debit card connected to an account.
I see. Does that answer your question, George?
It does, except one more question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Do either of those cards have a monthly fee that they charge?
No. There was a fee for them to send it to me, and for the Shift card, and I haven't gotten any fees since then. And there's only transaction fees on for the transaction.
I believe that the BitPay card has a monthly fee if you don't use it. So if you neglect to charge anything to the card during that month, they will hit you with, I think, like a $5 fee. So that's one of the other things about a lot of
All
these.
right, well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome, George. Thanks for the call tonight. That's one of the other things that I've noticed when you go and you look at the comparisons, because there's some great websites that have done comparisons between these different cards. You'll see that there are a lot of them have a lot of fees, especially ones from foreign jurisdictions and things like that. So.
As I understand it, in foreign countries, fees for credit cards are much more commonplace.
Noticeable.
Yeah, well, just commonplace. Here in the United States, we have the expectation that we should just carry around this piece of plastic and be able to do banking transactions, which we pointed out in the beginning of the show, have costs.
Yeah.
And just to swipe, and that that every retailer will give us a 3% discount for everything that we buy, and everything that goes with the use of credit cards. And it's obviously a pretty unrealistic expectation, but we get it.
Yeah. The thing I really love about this, and I've been having trouble with the time delays in my regular bank moving money around, and now with the Shift card, I have my Bitcoin in my Coinbase account. If I think that there's volatility in trading, I can easily shift that from that wallet right over to the GDAX exchange, and I can trade that and earn profits and move my profits right back into my Shift card. So it's just, particularly this past week, I've been doing very well.
Good to know. Now, did you have to pay a fee to get the card?
Yeah, it was like 0.0017 Bitcoins.
So like $16 or something.
Yeah, so it was pretty cheap.
$20. All right, so if you want to join us here, you're certainly welcome to do that. I hope to see that concept get some competition, because nobody is competing at the level of Coinbase on that, and I can't have a Coinbase account. So, and I'm not the only one out there who can't have a Coinbase account.
What'd you do?
Bought too much Bitcoin and then sold some of it, and they don't like it when you sell the Bitcoin you buy from them.
I see.
They don't like that at all.
I do that on GDAX. It's like
that's their exchange.
That's their exchange, and trading. You're trading with other people, not with Coinbase.
All right, let's go to Ralph. He's in New Jersey. He's been waiting a whole hour for this one.
To talk about the issue of Bitcoin, that's a very uninteresting subject.
Yeah, you want to talk about race, don't you?
The blacks, of course.
All right, well, I'm going to ban you from the show because that's all you ever call about. You're gone for 2 months. Thanks for the call. All right, so that's it. I gave him a warning. I gave him actually more than one warning about that all he ever calls about is the exact same thing, and that's going to be a no-no on Free Talk Live. So bye-bye, Ralph. 2 months. See you later.
You're a harsh man.
It's been Ian here with you.
And Mark.
Breaking the law.
No, I am the law.
Easy, Judge Dredd.
That's where that was from.
That's
right.
Yes, considering I've read them since 2000 AD comics.
Yeah, I've never read it. I saw the movie, though.
I know. Which one?
The one with Sylvester Stallone.
The other one was better.
See you tomorrow. FreeTalkLive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, December 13th, 2017. Silver is trading at $15.71 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,241 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 8.5 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $17,222. Antiwar.com reports while early in the Saudi invasion of Yemen, the U.S. was more on the supply side of famine, participating in the naval blockade. USAID Chief Mark Green has announced another round of $130 million in U.S.-provided food aid is being set aside for Yemen, citing the mounting humanitarian catastrophe. Whether the food will ever get there, however, is another matter. Green confirmed there's been no sign of any easing of the Saudi-led blockade of Yemen, despite repeated U.S. demands over the past week for the Saudis to allow the aid in. Indeed, not only have the Saudis not accepted the repeated U.S. calls for aid to be allowed in, there's no sign that the Saudis have acknowledged the calls at all, seemingly ignoring the situation entirely as the civilian toll mounts. The blockade has been a serious problem for northern Yemen, where a single port is expected to provide food, medicine, and fuel for some 15 million civilians, but which the Saudis have repeatedly blocked UN and other aid ships from entering. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organization to show up in an emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT NoGov license. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com. UPI reports the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld a ban on new uranium mining in the Grand Canyon on Tuesday, while also upholding a mining company's right to mine in the area since before the ban. The case regarding new claims came from one Arizona man's response to a 20-year ban on new claims imposed in 2012 under then Interior Secretary Ken Salazar. Gregory Yount challenged the ban despite not having ever mined uranium before and with no real plans to do so. Yount gave several reasons for challenging the ban, including a First Amendment argument in which he said protections in the area are due to Native American beliefs was based on archaic religious dogma. But the Ninth Circuit dismissed those arguments and ruled that the Interior Secretary has a right to enforce mining bans on public lands. However, the ban could be lifted by current Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke. In the other opinion released Tuesday, the Ninth Circuit rejected the Havasupai tribe's efforts to evict companies that had mining rights before the 2012 new claims ban. The tribe, who have lived at the bottom of the Grand Canyon for more than 800 years, argued that the U.S. Forest Service violated the National Historic Preservation Act when it failed to consult with the tribe before granting uranium mining rights to mining companies. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports an out-of-control California wildfire that has already destroyed nearly 700 homes in its path of destruction crept closer to the upscale hillside community of Montecito on Tuesday, despite calmer winds that slowed its progress. The Thomas Fire, which broke out on December 4th, has since traveled 27 miles to become the fifth largest blaze in state history. It has blackened more than 368 square miles in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties, an area larger than that of New York City. Officials said that while the flames charred another 25 6,500 acres overnight. A break in the hot, dry Santa Ana winds on Tuesday sapped its forward momentum and allowed crews to prevent further damage to some homes. Captain Steve Concialdi of CAL FIRE said it's doing what we want it to do. The fire is staying away from the homes. The flames are 25% contained as of Tuesday evening. He said that some of the 7,000 firefighters deployed against the blaze have taken advantage of the better weather to set control burns in a canyon near the community of Carpinteria and near homes in an effort to further deprive the flames of fuel. The National Weather Service has warned that the Santa Ana winds could return as early as Wednesday, meaning the fire remains dangerous and unpredictable. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The dangerous winter storm Rocky is expected to pummel the Midwest throughout the day, with meteorologists predicting the blizzard will hit Kevin Hodges of Joliet, Illinois, the hardest, given the way his year's been going.
Yeah, we're stocking up on everything. I think school's going to be canceled. We're just glad we're not Kevin right now.
Joining us now is Jordan Blake in Chicago. Hello, Jordan. Just how crippling will this storm be for Kevin?
Well, we've already seen a lot of damage. Motorists in Kansas trapped in their cars on the freeway. That's nothing compared to the emotional damage Hodges can expect. Having to deal with a sick cat, frustrating new hours at work, and a confusing breakup all in the past 6 months.
You know, we're getting reports that he recently loaned $600 to a friend who has no intention of paying him back and slammed his finger in a car door last month. Does the National Weather Service have any advice for Kevin today?
Not much you can do. The sky is really vulnerable right now. Authorities are recommending that he just stay indoors and think about his mistakes.
That sounds like good advice. You know, he looks like a real sad piece of shit. Stay warm out there, Jordan.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here!